Dallas won here last year, which pleased Wally Nicholson no end because our charter pilot had never flown a successful team out of here since 1972. That is the only time they have won in Washington since 72. They won then 13-0. Last year's was 20-7. The Cowboys are favored by 6.5 to 7 points this afternoon. And we are about set to go as referee Gordon McCarter holds his whistle, and Mark Mosley kicks it off fairly short. High, but short. It'll be taken by Butch Johnson at the 11. Comes left to the 20, 25. Almost breaks open. He squirts out to the 33-yard line. One more man, and he might have gone for a bundle. And downfield, Mark Mosley would have been the last man. Windler Hall did make the tackle. Offensively for the Cowboys, tight end Billy Joe Dupree, left tackle, right tackle Pat Donovan, the right guard Tom Rafferty, the center John Fitzgerald, the left guard Herbert Scott, the left tackle Ralph Neely, quarterback Roger Staubach, the wide receivers Golden Richards and Drew Pearson, and Preston Pearson or Tony Dorsett is in the backfield along with Robert Newhouse. So the Cowboy rookie is going to start. No, he is not. It's Preston Pearson in the backfield. Dorsett will not start. Here comes Drew Pearson in motion out of the eye, wide to the left side. Handoff goes to Newhouse, comes left, gets 1 yard, runs into big Ken Houston, and he makes the tackle after a gain of just 1. It'll be 2nd down and 9. So Tony Dorsett not starting. We were told just 30 minutes ago he would start, so they must have seen something they didn't like in the warm-up.
He ran fairly well. In fact, he's coming into the lineup right now.
There you go. How about that?
Because we watched him, and he looked like the thing wasn't bothering him at all. Of course, he hurt his knee in practice on Wednesday, bruised the knee other than the one that he hurt in preseason.
Well, he's in there now, and Preston Pearson goes to the sidelines. Cowboys send Dorsett wide to the right side. Now he backs up. Newhouse is off in the slot to the left. There is no shift. It'll go with a one-set-back offensive set now. Handoff goes to Dorsett, dances left, knocked down after a gain of maybe a foot or two. It'll be 3rd down and 9. Tackle made by Dave Butts. The Redskin front four, Ron McDowell, Dave Butts, Dyron Talbert, and Dennis Johnson. The linebackers are Brad Dusek, Harold McClinton, and Mike Curtis playing in place of Chris Hamburger. Gerard Williams and Joe Lavender, the cornerbacks. Now McClinton comes out, so also does Dave Butts. And Eddie Brown is in there. Jake Scott is starting in the ball game. Jake Scott is a starter with 3 broken ribs in place of Eddie Brown. But Eddie Brown is in now as a 5th defensive back. It's 3rd down, 9 for the Cowboys. At the 32, they'll go from the shotgun. Preston Pearson in the backfield. Now goes in motion wide right. Staubach back to throw, has time, wants a punch deep, has Drew Pearson downfield. He's got it at the 35-yard line. He comes left to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, stiff arm to the 5, and out of bounds at the 1-yard line. And there are no flags on the field.
Boy, he broke into the clear, and actually the pass was slightly underthrown, and he had to come back for it. But the Redskins were so bent out of shape on position there that Drew had time to come back for it and still pick up another 25 yards before they caught him.
A 67-yard pass with no touchdown. It's 1st and goal at the 1 as Drew was finally driven out of bounds wide to the left side. I saw you shaking then, and I thought there was a flag down, and I had
No, that's
just the cold.
That's just the cold weather here. It is a little nippy. It's too bad, the size of our crew today that we don't have a booth to match.
Yes, it is. We're cozy.
We are cozy.
Everybody's in tight, and we're up here, as you all have heard me say before, above the pigeons. And now the Cowboys call timeout, and Roger Staubach heads to the bench.
Notice Staubach is the only player down there, I think, on either side who does not have a sweat jersey underneath his game jersey.
Cliff Harris did the same thing. There's a momentary break in the action, so let's pause for this. You're listening to Dallas Cowboy Football.
Stop and go market. And yellow oval with the red stop and the green go. It's the sign of easy shopping.
Did you know that your neighborhood Stop and Go is skateboard parts headquarters for the Metroplex? And as an introduction, Stop and Go is offering a multicolored skateboard with hand-poured urethane wheels and self-contained bearings for only $12.95.
Stop and Go Market.
It's more than you know in a convenience store.
We are about to get set to go back to play now. Cowboys break the huddle and come up. 1st down goal at the Redskin 1. And they'll go from the power eye set straight to the left side. Double tight end. Staubach barks out the count. Newhouse, the short man, in the power eye. The handoff goes to Robert. He is dragged down for no gain. There may have been a fumble. There he is. Redskins recover at the 4-yard line. Dyron Talbot picks it off.
Oh, that's got to hurt. Because one thing you don't want to do here in Washington is come number one, get behind the Redskins or give them an opportunity like this and get that crowd really worked into a frenzy, and that's what will happen here.
Redskins take over at the 4. There's a timeout in the field with our score. No score. Dallas Cowboy football continues in a moment.
Oh, that was great. You know, I wish I had for dessert on a Sunday. Well, let's go somewhere and get a Sunday.
You can have it here. From now on, every day is Sunday at McDonald's because we've got new McDonald's Sundays.
Oh.
I'll try one.
Fun.
It is fun. With hot fudge, hot caramel, or frosty strawberry or pineapple.
Is this a McDonald's?
Yes, it is.
What's that?
That's a Sunday.
McDonald's doesn't have Sunday.
Yes, it does.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
It does.
Do we or do we not have Sundays?
Yes, we have
Sundays. Every day we have Sundays.
Every day?
Every day.
It's hooray, now every day can be Sunday at McDonald's.
Taste this.
New McDonald's Sundays. Try one for dessert today.
We do it all for you.
Hey, Frank, you know what they got new here at McDonald's?
Oh, this is very rich and good.
Never mind.
Redskins get the early break. They've got the ball at the 4. Joe Theismann, the quarterback, brings him up. He's got Harmon and Mike Thomas in the backfield in the eye behind him. Frank Grant to the left side. Here's a handoff to Mike Thomas. Darts outside. Cliff Harris dragged him down, but he gained yardage out to the 11-yard line, went over left tackle. And it's a gain of about 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3.
We were talking to Sonny Jurgensen last night, and he indicated to us that the Redskins have some trickery that they've been working on during the week, but he said even he wasn't able to find out. And as close as he is to the ball club, normally they tell him what's going on, but he says they've just told him you'd blab it on the air anyway, so we're not going to tell you this week.
2nd down, 3, Washington at their own 11-yard line, following the fumble recovery by Robert Newhouse. Here's Frank Grant in motion, wide to the left side to create the flip. Handoff comes left to Mike Thomas for Clarence Harmon. He's got a 1st down out near the 16-yard line. 1st and 10 Redskins. They have had problems, even under the change of quarterbacks, in putting points on the board. But they move it quickly and smartly out to a 1st down and 10 at the 16 now.
Harmon is a rookie out of Mississippi State, and he has seen a lot of action since John Riggins was, you might recall, in the first Cowboy game at Texas Stadium.
Frank Grant to the right side. Danny Buggs starting in place of Charlie Taylor is wide left against Aaron Kyle. Cowboy 4-3 defense, staring in the eyes of Joe Theismann on 1st down 10. Grant is in motion wide left. Here's Theismann with a handoff to Thomas. Darts and spins and picks up 1 at left guard. And the tackle is made by Harvey Martin. Redskins picked up 115 yards rushing against the Cowboys in the first game and 1 yard passing. The Cowboy defense dictated what happened in that ball game. But neither team has swept the series since 1971. It's 2nd down and 8. No score. Cowboys had a marvelous opportunity to go by the wayside with a 1st and goal at the 1 and the Newhouse fumble recovered by Dyron Talbert. Gene Fugit goes tight to the right side. Thomas Henderson bumps into D.D. Lewis trying to get over there to cover him. Now Grant is in motion wide right. Theismann rolls right, pulls up, has time, wants to run and will. He's to the 20 and tackled at the 23-yard line. He'll be 3 yards short or 2 yards short of the 1st down. Tackle is made by Bob Brunig. It'll be 3rd down and 3 for the Redskins out across the 20 to the 23-yard line.
There's a lot of speculation that the Redskins might start Bill Kilmer today. Of course, that hasn't happened. He's got the big edge and experience, and of course, he's a great leader. But you have to weigh that versus the versatility of Mr. Theismann, who runs the football very well.
Mike Thomas coming to the bench holding his left ankle, or his left wrist, rather. Be kind of tough walking holding your left ankle. And Calvin Hill is in there. It's 3rd down and 3. Washington at the 21-yard line. It's Hill and Harmon in the setback positions. Here's the handoff. Clarence Harmon comes left to the 25, knocked down short of the 1st down. And the punting unit will come on to the Redskins now. So they did punch it out about 21 yards, but they will have to punt on 4th down. Butch Johnson goes back in solo safety. Had kind of an off week last week in Pittsburgh. And Mike Bragg, who is having a sensational year, is on to punt for Washington on 4th down and 1. See if the Cowboys have the rush on now. They've got 10 men up on the line of scrimmage. 4th down and 1 Redskins. Bragg back at the 10. Here's the snap. The return is on. And Bragg sends a fairly short kick to the left side. Bounces at the 45. Gets by Johnson. He goes back, and it finally goes out of bounds at the 33-yard line. And the Cowboys will take over at that spot. Thing went left, and it was low kick. There is a timeout on the field after that 42-yard punt. No score in the game. Dallas Cowboy football continues in a moment.
See what's new today in a Chevrolet. It's Good News America, Chevy's new size Malibu. Good news about size, good news about room, good news about styling too.
The new size Malibu is just full of good news, America. Good news about a nifty new size on the outside and an amazing amount of room on the inside. There's good news about trunk space. Good news about ride and comfort and value. And the good news comes three ways: as a coupe, a sedan, and a wagon. It's a whole lot of good news, America. And it's at your Chevy dealers now.
There's good news in the trunk space, in the ride and comfort too. It's Good News America, Chevy's new size Malibu. It's Good News America, Chevy's new size Malibu.
See what's new today in a Chevrolet.
Chevy's new size Malibu. It's good news.
Back to play at RFK Stadium. Cowboys with their second offensive possession now. Butch Johnson comes in and Golden Richards runs over to the bench. They must have changed the play call after it was originally made. And Golden goes over to stand by Tom Landry. And we'll bring the next play in. Cowboys first down 10 at the 33. After they held the Redskins and the 42-yard punt from Mike Bragg. Drew Pearson wide to the right side. And here's Roger with a quick pitch out to Newhouse. Robert comes left. He is in trouble. Does a stiff arm bunt for a loss. And there's a flag that has been thrown on the far near side. Maybe a face mask call. Dyron Talbert made the tackle with help from Mike Curtis. And Talbert's over there arguing with the official right now. We may have a face mask. Herb Scott is going up against Dyron Talbert this afternoon, one of the interesting matchups, and Herb had some comments on Talbert.
I think if you hit him hard and, keep the contact with him, back shooters run by. If you please, the backfield. But if you really stick him, I think, you'll have a good running game against him. And I think I can have him pretty well on the pass protection.
Herb Scott talking about Dyron Talbert. There is a mark-off against the Redskins, 5 yards. Face mask call. They've got the down marker at first down still. The first down and 10. Again, 5-yard penalty. Newhouse had lost 5, and he's back to the line of scrimmage now after the penalty call. Drew Pearson wide to the right side. Big split behind Staubach on first down. Handoff Dorsett right up the middle. Tony to the 35 and powers out to the 39-yard line. Skate about 5. Dennis Johnson going from right tackle, ranging back to make the stop. Or right end, rather. And it'll be second down and 4.5.
I don't think George Allen ever believed that business about Dorsett being injured, not being able to start.
To see what he said on television last night?
Cowboys had, 17 players that they put on the injured list, which they're supposed to if the report comes back from the trainer injured. And he said if a guy goes to the dentist and has a toothache, they put him on the injured list.
Second down, we'll call it 4. It's a long 4. Staubach calling the signals. Blitz is threatened. Here come the Redskins. Handoff. Dorsett goes right, gets a plate block from Newhouse. And Tony is spilled up near the 43, close to the first down yardage. Redskins had the blitz on that time. Both linebackers showing a blitz. Ken Houston coming up to make the tackle, but he's close for the first and 10 up at the 43-yard line.
Got a lot of banners around RFK Stadium here, and the favorite saying of the Redskins this week is Think 7, which if they win their next 7, of course, they've got themselves a Super Bowl. They've even got bumper stickers and little paste-on stickers that Allen had made up. And the rumor is, if things don't go well, he's got a supply of Think 6s ready for next week.
Or Think 5. That's right. First down 10. They got the first down at the 43. Full T backfield now, but Drew will go in motion, or Golden does, rather, and comes to the near side. Roger 2 steps back, fires in the right flat. It's behind Pearson. He can't make the catch. Incomplete pass. Dangerous pass. It was good coverage from Joe Lavender on Drew. And we'll have a second down and 10. We have a scoreless game. 8:31 remaining in the first quarter. Cowboys, in case you just joined us, in their first series on a third down 10, Roger Staubach hit Drew Pearson for 67 yards to the 1. But Robert Newhouse fumbled to Dyron Talbert on the next play. And so that is the reason we have no score at this time. Now Drew comes to the left side. Butch Johnson is wide right. And the shifting backfield has Dorsett on the right side, Newhouse on the left. Draw play. Newhouse dances out of a tackle and bangs up across the 45 to the 48-yard line. And we'll have a third down 6 for the Cowboys as Mike Curtis, playing in place of Chris Hamburger, made the tackle with help from Harold McClinton.
It's been tough for the Cowboys up the middle. They've tried to run against the Redskins. They haven't really given them that much room. And the one long pass, of course, was successful to Drew Pearson. So you would think that Roger would begin to open it up and start throwing the football again. And obviously we're in a passing situation here.
Dorsett is out. Preston Pearson comes in. And Scott Laidlaw, rather, comes in the game with Preston Pearson. And the Cowboys will go from the shotgun on 3rd down and 6. Here's the snap. Roger with good protection again. Out of the right flat, throws it behind Preston, and he bobbles the ball at the 50-yard line. It'll be 4th down. Would have been short of the 1st down anyway. Ken Stone was covering, but that pass was wide to the left. And Pearson came back and hit him on the shoulder pad as he was diving for the catch, and it was incomplete. So dangerous Eddie Brown goes back to return the punt now for the Redskins, and Danny White is on to kick. Talking with Danny downstairs, he asked about the wind because he was conscious of the wind yesterday and said there wasn't going to be much. He smiled a lot at that. Those putters hate that wind.
Oh, yeah, that gets a little tricky in here. This is a complete circular stadium, and you get that crosswind, and it swirls around. You don't know where it's going to go.
Here's the snap. Brown waits for it at the 10. White kicks it to the right side. Nice kick will go out of bounds. Doesn't get much yardage, but there will be no run back. Matter of fact, he didn't get much yardage at all. They're bringing it all the way back up near the 30-yard line. So that is a very short kick for Danny White of 22 yards. He has been trying to go to the sidelines recently. Did that time, but it's cost him. There's a timeout on the field. With our score, Dallas 0, Washington 0. Dallas Cowboy football continues in a moment.
If you want to watch with quartz crystal accuracy, Sanger Harris has just what you're looking for. The Seiko Digital Quartz LC Alarm Chronograph. This handsome slim watch features continuous readout in hours, automatic calendar displays month, day, and date, and the alarm can be set to sound daily at the designated AM or PM time. The chronograph mode displays hours, minutes, and seconds for recording elapsed time and lap time. Come to Sanger Harris and see the Seiko Digital Quartz LC Alarm Chronograph. It's so precise, it's actually changing the world's standard of accuracy.
What do you think of when I say State Farm? Car insurance? Well, okay. What else comes to mind? Give up? Life insurance. State Farm has a complete line of life policies, one for just about any need. And life insurance from State Farm can provide money to help with college costs, to pay off the mortgage, or for retirement. For your car, home, health, and life, see your Dallas, Tarrant County State Farm agent. He's listed in the Yellow Pages. KRLD.
Back to play with 7:39 to go in the first quarter. Vern, Lundquist, Frank Glieber, and Brad Sham from RFK Stadium. And the Redskins have it for the second time at their own 30-yard line. They are huddled back after 20. Gene Fugit, the tight end. We'll see if Mike Thomas is back in there. He came out for one play on 3rd down. But Thomas is back in the back. No, he's not. Calvin Hill is still back there with Clarence Harmon. So we'll check on the injury to Mike Thomas. Grant comes in motion wide to the right. Theismann hands it off to Harmon right up the middle dive play, and he's out to the 34. Picked up about 4 yards. Just a quick opener, and Thomas Henderson made the tackle.
They lose Thomas. That's going to be quite a loss for him. He is down there on the bench, and he's walking around, and he appears to be all right. But as Vern mentioned, looked like his wrist or something that was injured when he came off the field. But he's a very quick back, and not unlike Tony Dorsett, the way he runs the football. Great threat for the Redskins.
Calvin, in contrast, has only 101 yards for the year on 28 carries. It's 2nd down and 6. Washington at the 34. Theismann hands it all. Play action. Wants it out of the right flat. Fires it out. And it's caught. Oh, he caught it out of bounds. Caught it out of bounds. That was a great catch by Frank Grant, but he did not have both feet coming down on the playing surface. Pretty good coverage by Benny Barnes.
He played that awful well. He played that about as good as you could play somebody, and I think he helped nudge Grant when he was coming down a little bit to make sure he come down out of bounds.
So it'll be 3rd down and 6, and the prevent defense comes in for Dallas. Randy Hughes is in there. See if it's Mark Washington also in. Yep, Mark comes over to the near side. We've got a flip formation and a quick count for the Redskins. Hand off Calvin Hill. Power sweep. Randy White is chasing him. Calvin to the 40, 50. Cuts back to the 40. Still running. Knocks down at the Cowboys 32-yard line. Benny Barnes finally made the tackle.
Redskins have an injury. Harmon, the other back, was shaken up trying to block on that play. I think the Cowboys are looking so strong for pass that they never anticipated a sweep by Hill, who is not known for his outside ability anyway. And I don't think Calvin believed it after he crossed the line of scrimmage, and there was nobody near him.
Randy White was chasing him and was cut down all of a sudden. And Calvin's previous long game this year had been 13 yards, and he picked up a bunch on that. Harmon is injured. There's a timeout on the field. No score in the game. Dallas Cowboy football continues in a moment.
We're really on to something that's making it big today. Yeah, we're really on to something that's making it all the way. Mr. Pill, you can't describe it. Mr. Pill, until you've tried it.
People like its one-of-a-kind combination of flavors so much, we bet Mr. Pill is a soft drink that goes clear to the top. Try Mr. Pill and taste why.
Mr. Pill, like nothing else.
Maybe all you know about batteries is that they're necessary to start your car, and you want one that will start and start your car. Well, that's just what the Delco battery was made to do. So see Gillers for a quality AC Delco battery, the one that supplies the instant burst of power needed to start your car start after start. See Gillers about putting a Delco battery in your car today. Gillers at 3200 East Commerce is the oldest automotive jobber in Dallas County, offering a vast inventory of car parts to fit all models, featuring AC Delco parts at 3200 East Commerce.
Clarence Harmon comes out, but he ran off by himself, and Mike Thomas comes back in the backfield. So we've got Thomas and Hill back there now. On first down 10 at the Cowboy 32. Deepest penetration, rather obviously, for the Redskins with 6:41 remaining first quarter. Danny Buggs wide right, Frank Grant wide left. And Thomas in a slot to the right side, leaving Hill the only setback in the backfield. He's directly behind Joe Theismann, and Theismann will throw, has time, pumps once, looks deep, has Buggs way downfield, overthrows him, incomplete. Oh, he had plenty of time to throw the football then.
He threw that thing almost into the bleachers. That Bug's been there. The ball was well overthrown beyond the end zone. And the players, both of them, slid into a little protective fence that they put up about 3 yards or so behind the goal post here. There just isn't much room at all between the end zones and the stands on either end of the field here.
Have a second down 10 at the Cowboys 32 now. No score in the game, 6:25 to go first quarter. Grant and Buggs both go wide left. Theismann now is 0 for 2. At the Cowboy 32, Redskins have it. Motion man, Frank Grant comes wide to the right side. Theismann draw play, hands it off to Calvin on the delayed trap, and Calvin's to the 30-yard line. He picked up 2 yards before Harvey Martin made the tackle. And we'll have a third down 8 to prevent defense comes in. Bill Gregory, Randy Hughes, and Mark Washington come in. D.D. Lewis, Jethro Pugh, and Bob Brunig head to the bench. Of course, Mark Mosley has kicked 3 field goals in excess of 50 yards this year, and he'll be ready in case the Redskins can't get the first down. They've got a third down and 8 at the Cowboy 30. One of those 54-yarders came against the Cowboys in the first game. Flip to the right side. Buggs and Grant. Split in the backfield behind Joe Theismann. Huget is tight to the left side. It's third down. Here's Theismann back to throw. Comes across the middle. Caught by Grant. First down at the 15-yard line.
That's the type of pattern that Kilmer has run so successfully down through the years with Roy Jefferson. Coming off that right wing and then slanting across the middle. He got in front of Cliff Harris there, and Harris was there to make the stop, but there was no way to prevent him from catching the football.
Again, very little pressure by the Cowboy front four on Joe Theismann. They used that play fake to set it up, and the Redskins in business now inside the 15 at the 14 is where they've spotted the ball. Buggs to the left side. Grant is in a slot to the right. And Mike Thomas comes back in with Clarence Harmon in the backfield now. Grant in motion wide left. Theismann fakes it, goes back to pass, comes in the right corner, has a man open, but he overthrows Mike Thomas in the end zone. It's incomplete.
Hey, if he was on the money, he'd have him a touchdown by now. Oh, because he could have hit Buggs the first time with an accurate pass, and he had Mike Thomas pretty well wide open there and overthrew him as well. You're right, though. The Cowboys are not applying the pressure, and I think a lot of that's due to that play-action type fake, which is containing the front four. They hesitate for a moment before they make their charge. They got to the Redskins, you recall, 8 times in that first game at Texas Stadium. They dumped Theismann 4 times, and they got Kilmer for 4 sacks.
We'll have a second down 10 at the 14. Redskins break and come up. Bill Gregory has replaced Jethro Pugh in the defensive line. Flip to the right side again. Buggs the inside man, or Grant is rather, and Huget is tight to the left. Here's Theismann, straight drop back this time. Pumps and goes across the middle, and the ball is knocked down at the goal line by Cliff Harris. He and Danny Buggs collided at the time the ball got there, and they're doing some talking back and forth.
They almost made a sandwich out of Mr. Buggs between Benny Barnes and Cliff Harris. They had him covered well at the goal line, and Theismann tried to thread the needle there and couldn't quite get it through.
Theismann 1 for 5 for 16 yards. He's got a third down and 10 at the 14 right now. Cowboys have the prevent defense in, or do they? Do they have the regular set? regular formation. Again, the flip. Both wide receivers come wide right. And Dugan to the left side. Quick count. Theismann back. Here comes the pass into the left corner. Caught. No, flag is down. Caught for a touchdown. Let's see if the flag counts. Danny Buggs caught it.
I think it's a pass interference call. I think he went out of bounds at the 1, I do believe. Let me see, unless they call it offensive interference.
Offensive pass interference against Danny Buggs.
That's a rare situation.
Caught it in the corner, and they called offensive pass interference against Buggs. Would that we had the Magnavox monitor here so we could see it again, but we don't. Those of you who have the sound turned down on television and are listening to us on radio, I'm sure, are watching it again right now.
Sure.
Somebody call, tell us what happened.
You know, with Hill and with Mike Thomas in there, both of those guys are natural tailbacks, so you have one of them playing out of position. And they've got Calvin right now playing the fullback position and Thomas at tailback. So that's not the optimum situation. Calvin has been playing behind Thomas all year as a tailback.
They mark it back to the 25. It's third down and 20. Harmon is in there now, and Hill's on the bench. And Joe Theismann will try and get the 6 again. He's back to pass. Here comes the rush. They're chasing him. Rolls out to the left. Gets by Harvey. No, Harvey's still firing. Now he throws it away into the end zone. Incomplete. Well, he obviously dumped the ball as Harvey was chasing him. And Bob Bruning is asking, why aren't you going to call it? But we've talked about that a million times this year. So we'll get Mark Mosley. Who, for the season, by the way, let me see, had a good year.
He is 5 out of 5 inside the 40-yard line, and he's got 4 field goals over 50 yards compared to only 3 by the other 27 NFL kickers. That's a pretty impressive stat.
Go ahead, Frank. One game against the Cowboys. This will be a 41-yard effort. The ball will be placed down at the 31, and Theismann holds it. Here's the snap, and the kick is on the way. Got the legs, and he missed it. It was wide to the right side. No good. There's a timeout. Oh, let's pause 15 seconds for station identification. This is the Dallas Cowboy Radio Network.
To stay ahead of the game, turn to Vern, the guy who's on top of sports every weeknight at 6 and 10 on News 8. Vern Lundquist. He'll keep you on top of sports.
The voice of the Cowboys. This is KRLD, Dallas.
KRLD.
Cowboys get a break and they get the ball. The offensive pass interference call cost Washington a touchdown, and Dallas gets it back at the 25. First down 10. Newhouse right side, Dorsett to the left. They are back at the 20-yard line. Long count, handoff, no play action. Quick screen out to Golden. Richards looks for a block from Neely. Neely misses the block, and Richards loses a yard. Joe Lavender made the tackle. I don't know that Ralph really missed that block or that Golden misplayed his block. And didn't set it up very well.
The pass was a little bit slow, and Golden seemed to be a little slow reacting, but he picked it up like he couldn't make up his mind whether he wanted to go inside or outside. And that split second made a lot of difference. I can't believe Scott's in there with 3 busted ribs, can you?
No, I can't. There was no way he could play. But he's starting. It's second down 11 for the folks. Butch Johnson wide to the left side, and Drew Pearson wide right. Roger dances straight back. 4-man rush. Talbot chasing him. Roger rolls out, pulls up, lets it go, intercepted. Picked off, and coming to the left side is Ken Houston. He fumbles the ball. The Redskins, I think, have recovered. They got it back at the 29-yard line. It looked for all the world as though Roger Staubach was passing right to Ken Houston on that play. It went right to him. And the Redskins get it right back, and here comes the Cowboy defense on the field.
I did not see a receiver anywhere.
Nowhere.
But I can't believe what he was thinking of that particular play.
They spot the ball at the 29. We've got 3:45 to go first quarter. No score in the game. The Redskins knocking on the door for the second time. Buggs goes to the left side. Dugan tight to the right side. Frank Grant is also wide left. Thomas and Harmon the setbacks behind Joe Theismann. First down 10. Handoff. Harmon. Power drive straight up the middle. He is caught and dropped as he gets to the 26. Picked up 3 and perhaps 4. It'll be second down and 6. D.D. Lewis with the tackle.
Now Dallas is down 2-0 now in the turnover department. There's a critical fumble on a first and goal situation from the inside the 5-yard line a bit earlier. Now this pass interception.
Boy, you look back at how much that meant to lose the enthusiasm and the momentum you had on that first drive. And
sure, fires them up.
Now they're struggling. Second down 6. Grant in the slot, goes in motion wide to the left. Theismann will pass, comes back to throw. Blitz is on. He is caught. He is dropped by Randy White back at the 35-yard line. There's the first sack of the day. And the Cowboys also had Dede Lewis coming on a blitz. Ed Jones completed the tackle that was begun by Randy White. And we've got a third down and 15.
Theismann is not the greatest as far as following the game plan is concerned. That's what Sonny Jurgensen told me yesterday. He gets into the heat of battle, and he sometimes forgets the discipline of the game plan and goes off on a tangent. And, of course, the Redskins, unlike the Cowboys, allow their quarterback to call the own plays.
Theismann's got a third down and 15 now at the Cowboy 35. Both wide receivers are to the right side this time, and Fugit is tight to the left. Here's Theismann. Quick screen out to Danny Buggs. Has it. He's at a 30 and knocked down. Breaks the tackle. Still going to the 23-yard line. He is just short of the first down. And he broke a tackle back at the 30 as Mark Washington hit him initially. Thomas Henderson finally got him down. And Mark Mosley will get a second chance now as the ball will be spotted at the 23. It'll be a 40-yard effort for Mark Mosley.
There are many who say that he has more than his socks inside of his shoe.
Old lead foot.
You know, his right leg looks a lot bigger than his left. The Redskins say he tapes it. He tapes his leg from his knee down to his ankle to lock his ankle in place.
Ball will be spotted at the 30. A 40-yard effort with Theismann holding. Here's the snap, a good one. Mosley's kick is on the way. Mosley missed it again. It's wide to the right. Cowboys get their second consecutive break in the last 3 minutes. And they get the ball back this time at the 23. So the Redskins fail to capitalize on the turnover.
Wow, you know, I mean to tell you, Cowboys got to take advantage of some of this prosperity. He's not going to keep missing them all night.
Wow. We're under 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. No score in the game. Cowboys had a first and goal at the 1 and fumbled. And the Redskins here in the last two series have missed field goals of 40 and 41 yards and also had a touchdown called back. High formation behind Roger Staubach. Hand off Newhouse. Flag is down as Robert gets out across the 25 to the 27. There's a flag in the offensive backfield. Jake Scott made the tackle. Illegal procedure, Dallas. Well, with the exception of the 167-yard pass, they've not done much offensively.
That's been it. That's been the entire offense in the ballgame so far as the Cowboys are concerned. Dusk is settling over the nation's capital. Lights have been on here since the start of the game, but looking up at the skies, from my upbringing in Wisconsin, I would say this looks like snow weather. Very ominous-looking clouds. Not real dark, but snow-type clouds.
I just hope it hangs off till about 8 o'clock and we can get out of here. We have a first down and 15 for the Pokes. They will not go from the spread. Regular formation. Newhouse in the slot to the right side. Now shifts into the backfield. Long count. Redskins shifting defensively. Here's Staubach. Back to throw. Comes across the middle. Tipped in the air. Almost intercepted again. It's incomplete as Ken Houston was right with Drew Pearson on the play. It's second down 15.
They had a lot of red shirts out there covering Drew Pearson. And again, Staubach threw that thing into a crowd and was lucky he didn't get it picked off for the second time.
Prevent defense comes in. The nickel defense for the Redskins. Carl Lorch checks in. And I didn't see Eddie Brown come in. We may just have... yeah, here comes Eddie Brown in now. But is he going to stay or... Yeah, now McClinton finally comes off the field. It's second down and 15. Cowboys at their own 17-yard line. No score in the game late in the first quarter. Blitz threatened by the Redskins. Talbert shifts. Here's Staubach straight back to pass. Looks for a screen pass to Newhouse. Sets it up. Robert gets a block, but his ball down from behind back at the line of scrimmage. Tackle made by Carl Lorch. That was the one man left to beat, or he might have picked up a bunch. And we'll have a third down and 15 for the Cowboys. No gain on that play.
Lorch is one of the young Redskins. You haven't heard of him too much. He comes into those pass down situations, but he's rather fierce pass rusher.
Staubach is 3 out of 7, but for only 67 yards, and I say only because all of that yardage came on his first pass. And we've got a third down and 15 now at the 18-yard line. No score with 1:10 to go in the first quarter. Butch Johnson comes to the left side. Drew Pearson to the right. Cowboys will go from the spread. Mark Murphy is checked in as the 6th defensive back for the Redskins. Now Preston Pearson in motion. Staubach has the snap, 4-man rush. Roger looks, can't find anybody. He'll run. Dodges to his right. He's at the 18, does a stiff arm as Brown has him and hauls him out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Eddie Brown made the tackle. Danny White comes on to punt for the Cowboys on 4th down. And Eddie Brown will drift back in solo safety, having made the tackle. And the Cowboys' offense continues to sputter here at RFK Stadium with 24 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
There's the Redskins' offense didn't set the world on fire either outside of that run by Calvin.
That's right. White is back at the 10. And Eddie Brown waits for the punt at the 40. D.D. Lewis over the ball. Snaps it back. Very slight rush, and here's White's kick up in the air, right side. Poor kick again. And Danny has it bounced, gets a cowboy roll, and goes out of bounds near the 36-yard line. That's the end of the quarter with our score. Dallas nothing, Washington nothing. Dallas Cowboy football continues in a moment.
Chevrolet's 1978 Chevette has more room and more standard equipment than last year. It offers a lot of the little things that add up to greater value for you. And the 1978 Chevette costs less than many of those comparably equipped foreign cars. This year's Chevette is small enough to weave through traffic and around potholes. It's big enough to carry a lot of groceries or a lot of fun stuff. And the best news is the deal your Dallas County Chevy dealers are making right now on 1978 Chevettes. With each new Chevette purchased and delivered before December 10th, your Dallas County Chevy dealer is giving the purchaser a check to pay for 118 gallons of gas. That's enough gas to drive your new Chevette 4,000 miles. Just think, your first 4,000 miles of driving pleasure comes free. See your Dallas newspaper for details. Then see one of the Chevy specialists to test drive the 1978 Chevette for yourself. 6 of the participating dealers are Johnson, Bob Hayes, Kraft, Newman, John Boswell, and Bruton Chevrolet.
Back to play in quarter number 2. We've had no score in the game thus far. Dallas and Washington, Vern Lundquist, Frank Glieber, and Brad Sham. Clothing and attire for members of the Dallas Cowboy Radio broadcast team is provided by Colwell & Son with 3 locations in Dallas, Hillcrest and SMU, downtown in one main place, and Valley View Square at Preston Road in LBJ. That's Colwell & Son.
I can't see anything surprising that the Redskins have done, as Sonny Jurgensen hinted to us they might. I do notice when the Cowboys come in with that prevent defense, they have run the ball about as often as they have thrown. And it was in the prevent situation that Calvin Hill broke off the left side and picked up 34 yards on a sweep earlier in the first period.
And the Cowboys, Frank, Rich Pettibone just handed us a note. Without the 67-yard pass, had 15 yards of offense in the first quarter. First down 10, Washington now in the I. Grant is in the slot to the right side. Handoff goes to Mike Thomas, and he squirts forward for just a yard or two. Harvey Martin and D.D. Lewis made the tackle. It'll be second down and 9. Turnovers 2-0. As Newhouse fumbled at the 4, and Roger Staubach threw his 5th pass interception in the last 2 games and 1 quarter. After going through the first 9 games of the year, the first 8 games, only 1. And they gave Thomas 3 yards on that last play. It'll be second down and 7 at the 39-yard line. Theismann has it. Quick pop out on the right flat. It goes to Danny Buggs. He tries to get outside. D.D. Lewis knocks him out of bounds at the 41-yard line. They picked up just a couple. So it'll be third down and 6 or 5.
Every time Staubach throws an interception, everybody starts to think, boy, his hands hurting him, his legs hurting him. But, he assured us here the last couple of days he is fine, he is healthy, and anything that happens on the field is not due to any problems he is having health-wise, despite people's persistence in making excuses for him.
Let's see, Theismann now for the day is 3 out of 8 for 28 yards, 29 yards, and he's got a third down and 6. He sends both wide receivers wide right. Cowboys have the prevent defense in. They have 1 sack thus far on Joe Theismann. Third down, he's back to throw. Has time, pops it out of the right flat, caught by Thomas, out of bounds with a first down at the Redskin 48-yard line. Mike Thomas out of the backfield, the Redskins convert on third down. And there is a flag on the play, however. Offensive holding, so wipe it out and bring it back.
So the problems really haven't been all Dallas so far. Redskins have had their difficulties, too. Very critical offensive pass interference call that went against them, which cost them a touchdown in the first period. And this call cost them a first down.
wipe out the first down and mark it back to the 30-yard line. And it'll be 3rd down and 16 instead of a 1st down 10 up at the 48. Calvin Hill comes in, Harmon comes out. So Hill and Thomas are the setbacks, both wide receivers again to the right side. Quick count, handoff Thomas. He comes left, runs into his own man, and is tackled at the 33, and the Redskins will be forced to punt.
I tell you, Charlie Waters did a lot there in forcing Ron Saul, the pulling guard, to trip and fall into the path of Mike Thomas. But there again, you have a situation where the Redskins saw the Cowboy prevent in there, and they tried to run on him, tried to cross him up that way.
Mike Bragg comes in to punt, and the Cowboys will go with 2 men deep now, Tony Hill and Butch Johnson. And they have 9 men up on the line of scrimmage. Bragg will punt it from the 17. 9-man punt for the Cowboys on 4th down. Long wait for the snap, and here it's finally made. There is very little pressure, and Bragg sends it high and off the right of his foot over to the right side. There's a flag down also. And the punt stops at the 45 and is down by the Redskins at the 45-yard line. Now we'll check the flag. 23-yard punt by Mike Bragg.
Well, normally you'd think that would go against the offense because the ball had not been kicked deep enough for the receiver to get it and risk a possible clip. So what you normally get in a situation like that is the receiver taking off, inside man taking off a little bit early.
Cut block is what they call it, blocking below the knees, or below the waist. A cut block against the Redskins. Or is it against the Cowboys?
It'd be against the Cowboys, and I think that's an automatic first down.
It sure is. That's exactly what happened. Illegal block by the Cowboys.
Your defensive back can't come up and cut that wide receiver. You got to give him a shot at getting off the line of scrimmage.
Well, that's a first down for the Redskins, so they get a break. They've got the ball at the 37. This has not been inspired football we have witnessed this afternoon. Theismann has it, will throw, back to pass, in trouble, caught and dropped at the 26-yard line. Harvey Martin gets his 17th sack of 1977. They had a tremendous rush that time.
Cowboys had a blitz working for the first time this afternoon. They don't use that tactic very often, but they did in that case, and D.D. Lewis came in and helped jam things up pretty good as well.
So the prevent defense comes in now on that loss all the way back to the 27-28 is where they have spotted the ball. And Frank Grant or Danny Buggs, one or the other, takes a long time coming all the way back down the line of scrimmage. It was Buggs. And he finally gets there. So the 30-second clock starts. We've got 13-18 to go in the first half and no score in the ball game. Fugit comes to the left side on 2nd down and 19. Both wide receivers are wide right. Prevent defense for Dallas. Theismann drops back. He's up in the pocket. He'll run, goes right. He's to the 30, 35, still on his feet. Comes left and slides down to the 37-yard line. He got 9 back. Had to flush out of the pocket. He just about got sacked again, and he picked up 9 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
One of the things that Tom Landry deemed important in this game is that the Cowboys not only win it, but they start playing good, particularly offensively, because this is the time of year you want to start building that momentum that gears you to the playoffs. And if you don't get it going pretty soon, it's going to be tough trying to get it in 1 or 2 games.
They're going to give Joe Theismann 10 yards on that last carry. It'll be 3rd down and officially 9 at the 33. Prevent defense is in. Charlie Waters comes up to work on Gene Fugit, tight left, both wide receivers to the right side. Theismann looks that direction, now looks left and starts calling out the cadence. Cowboys jump. Here's Theismann back to throw, goes on the right flat. The pass is out there, and it is incomplete. Juggled out of bounds, but I think Dallas is offside.
I tell you, the Redskins are getting so many opportunities here. They've missed the 2 field goals. They've had the pass interception. They've had most of the penalties work in their area that sooner or later you can't hold them forever, I don't think.
Cowboys' 3rd penalty of the game, 5 yards, offside. I think it was Randy White who jumped. So it's 3rd down and 5 instead of 4th down and 10. With 12:03 remaining. And here comes Washington back up. Cowboys do not have the prevent defense in now. Yes, they do. They still do. Randy Hughes is still in there. Here's Theismann dropping back to throw. Goes in the right flat. Calvin Hill drops the ball. He was wide open at the 48. The pass behind him, and Calvin would have picked up a bunch. But he dropped it.
I think the Redskins worked a variation of the old basketball screenplay. Thomas Henderson was desperately tried to get out to where Calvin Hill was, but one of the other Redskins had him screened off very effectively. So that, in essence, Hill was by himself. The pass was a little bit low, but certainly catchable.
So Mike Bragg will try it again. And the Cowboys this time have a 10-man front on 4th down and 5. Long count, hoping to draw the Cowboys offside. There is no pressure. And here's the kick. Bragg to Johnson at the 25. Butch comes to the 30 and is knocked down at the 32. 33-yard punt by Mike Bragg. Tackle made by Woodland Hall. There's a timeout on the field with our score. Dallas nothing, Washington nothing. Dallas Cowboy football continues in a moment.
Dear Jack in the Box restaurants, I'm from Texas, the biggest state, except for Alaska, where they got polar bears. We got the biggest everything down here. Our cars are big, our hats are big, and I tried one of your Jack Steak sandwiches, and it is real big. You get 100% USDA choice flaked and foreign beef on that there sandwich, and the special sauce is fantastic. I guess most everybody in Texas is going to be at a Jack in the Box eating your Jack Steak sandwiches. We are big eaters. Why, up north, one Jack Steak sandwich could probably feed a family of 4.
Sanger Harris makes shopping for him easy. We've got the Hager's slacks he wants for Christmas. You'll find an entire collection of these great-fitting slacks, like the chino slack, with a smart, traditional, updated look. The denim slack, a pre-washed 100% cotton jean styled with contrast stitching. And the hop-sec jean, made especially for the man who needs a true gentleman's fit. Hager casual slacks, from $19 to $21 in men's slacks at Sanger Harris.
Cowboys get it back now at their own 32, hoping desperately that something will begin to work for them. They have not looked good at all on offense, with the exception of the one pass to Drew Pearson. Time of possession for the Redskins, they've had the ball for 11 minutes and 13 seconds. The Cowboys, 6:58. And Washington has not looked all that stalwart today.
Well, you could all say it's a great defensive game, but you'd be kind of lying there, too.
That's right.
Because both offenses have really looked bad at times.
First down, 10, Dallas at the 32. Dorsett and Newhouse in the backfield. Tony to the left side, Robert Newhouse to the right side. Long count by Staubach, handoff Dorsett, and he gets about 3 yards out at the middle to the 35 before Harold McClinton makes the tackle.
Redskins did a little stunning. They moved their entire front four to the left about a yard or so just prior to the snap of the ball, and consequently they had that hole filled very nicely before Dorsett got there.
Second down, 7 for Dallas at the 35. If you just joined us, they had a marvelous scoring opportunity with a 1st and goal at the 1 on their first series, but a Newhouse fumble cost them that one.
Just joined us, you've missed nothing yet.
That's right. Drew Pearson starts in motion. Blitz is coming. Staubach hands it off to Dorsett. He's in trouble back behind the line. Gets to the 35 and out to the 36. And there are a few backs who could have gotten out of that jam.
They did blitz it pretty good, and Mike Curtis filtered through. He somehow evaded the grasp of Curtis, who had him by the jersey for a moment, then took off around end. But by that time, the rest of the Redskin defense had the play strung out pretty well, and Tony didn't have much room at all.
Staubach is 3 out of 7 now for 67. All of that yardage on one pass. The other 2 completions have gone for nothing. Dorsett comes out on 3rd down. It's 3rd down and 6. 11 minutes remaining in the first half. Cowboys go from the spread. Dupree to the right side. Laidlaw to the left side. Preston Pearson split wide right. Here's the snap for Staubach. He fires it out. It's caught by Preston, and he's close for the first down. Nope, there's a flag down also in the offensive backfield. The pass was also ruled incomplete. Roughing the passer call against the Redskins. And Byron Talbot is really upset. So the Cowboys will get the first down on the roughing the passer call.
Take him any way you can get him in a game like this. See, what would a scoreless tie do to the standings? You know, the way they're playing both sides right now, they're going to be here all night before anybody scores.
Boy, that's for sure. There has been no crispness of attack whatsoever. That's a 15-yard penalty to the Redskin 49. Roughing the passer call. And we cannot hear the PA up here, but I believe it was against Byron Talbot.
We can hear the crowd, though.
Yeah. A lot of boos. We've got 11 minutes and 2 seconds to go in the first half. And here come the Cowboys. Butch Johnson wide to the right side against Gerard Williams. And Drew Pearson wide left against Joe Lavender. I formation now. Dorsett the deep back in the I. Drew comes in motion. Roger fakes it to Dorsett, goes back, looks deep, fires in the right flat for Butch, and he can't hold on at the 33. Good coverage by Gerard Williams on that play. He was right with Butch Johnson. It'll be 2nd and 10.
He tried to come back a little bit, and the pass was slightly underthrown and reached for it, but couldn't grasp it. Would have been a tough catch.
Second and 10. Trying to think of adjectives to describe what we have seen.
Well, it's kind of like seeing your first preseason game when everything isn't working right and people are missing handoffs and fumbling and throwing pass interceptions and getting penalties. Very sloppy on both sides.
2nd down and 10. Cowboys at the Redskins 49. Standard set behind Newhouse, or behind Staubach, rather. Roger, long count under John Fitzgerald, will throw, drops back, 4-man rush, hit as he lets it fly to the right side, caught. A nice catch, and it's a first down for the Cowboys at the 37. Drew Pearson made the catch with Gerard Williams draped all over him.
I'm surprised they did not throw the flag there because it looked like he was all over his back before the ball got there. Of course, makes no difference as he wound up catching the football, and the Cowboys have the first down at the Redskins' 37-yard line, which now is, I guess, their deepest penetration outside of that first series, isn't it?
Sure is, yeah. And they got the break on this series with a roughing the passer call. Flip to the right side. Both wide receivers are wide right. Here's the handoff to Newhouse at left tackle, and he is jammed up for no gain. Mike Curtis was right there with help from Dennis Johnson. And Newhouse got nothing. The ground game has been something less than awesome so far.
Now look at Newhouse's stats. 5 carries for -3 at that point. And that, of course, includes that potentially disastrous fumble on the very first series.
The 2nd down, they did give him a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9 at the 37 of Washington. Clock running with 9:50 to go first half. Drew Pearson comes wide right. And the crowd begins a chant of defense, defense, defense. Dorsett and Newhouse behind Staubach. Drew Pearson in motion. Here's the handoff to Tony. Comes to the right side. Darts to the outside. He's to the 35 and is hit from behind and hauled down at the 35-yard line by Gerard Williams. It'll be 3rd down and 7. Carl Lorch comes in as an extra lineman. Scott Laidlaw and Preston Pearson come off the Cowboy bench as Dorsett could not turn the corner. Tony for the day now has 6 carries for 16 yards.
Tony's already bettered the Cowboys' best rushing total of last year when Doug Dennison led all Cowboy rushers in the season with 542 yards. Coming into this game, Tony has 595. That, of course, just playing halftime up until last week.
3rd down and 8 for the Cowboys at the Washington 35-yard line. Spread formation for Dallas. Butch Johnson wide right. Drew is to the left side against Joe Lavender. Preston Pearson in motion out of the backfield. Here's the snap. 4-man rush. Roger has time, lets it fly, and it's incomplete for Dupree at the 25-yard line. Billy Joe leaning out. It was a catchable pass while he was suspended in the air, but couldn't hang on. And now Dallas will face a 4th down.
I think this is a little bit out of Herrera's range. We were watching him kick prior to the game, and he was having great difficulty reaching the goalpost from in excess of 45 yards away. That's what this field goal kick would have been, but they're going to punt it.
Danny White will come on. It would have been a 52-yard effort. His best is 53. 52 is his best. But White is going to try and punt it out inside the 10 now. Danny will punt from the 50. Eddie Brown is back with Mark Murphy. Here's the snap, and White goes to the left side, hangs it up. Good coverage downfield. It looks good, and it goes out of bounds at the 6-yard line. Nice punt by Danny White.
That's the best thing that's happened today.
That's right. He is our offensive player of the game so far. There's a timeout on the field. We still have no score. Dallas Cowboy football continues in a moment.
All across our land, people know our brand.
You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Start plugs by AC.
People have been thanking AC for sure starts for years. Now, you can also thank AC for helping save you money. Because right now, AC Delco is making it possible for you to get 1 AC spark plug free when you buy 7 at the regular price from any participating outlet displaying our buy 7, get 1 free sign. And if your car needs a tune-up, this offer can help you save twice. Once when you buy the Plus, and again through contributing to improved operating economy. This offer applies to every automotive spark plug AC makes. Just get on over to your participating AC Delco dealer before December 18th, 1977, or before supplies run out, and save. save.
When you want to go, we're the name to know. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Spark plugs by AC. Firing spark plugs.
AC spark plugs, buy 7, get 1 free offer. Void where prohibited.
Redskins get it back, and they have spotted the ball just outside the 5. That was a marvelous kick by Danny White. And Washington has it with 8:35 remaining.
Cowboy defense has got to be thinking turnover. That if we're going to score in this game, it's going to be us guys going to have to do it.
That's right. Redskins are huddled in the goal line. They break and come up. Joe Theismann leads them out of the huddle. Buggs comes to the left side against Aaron Kyle. And Grant is in a slot to the right. Play action. Theismann wants to throw. Flips it out. Has a man open, but he can't hang on up at the 25-yard line. Gutsy call on first down. And it was Calvin Hill coming out of the backfield, leaning forward, but could not hold on. You know, Joe Theismann played high school football with the Cowboys All-Pro wide receiver Drew Pearson, and Drew had some comments on him.
I know Joey Theismann played high school ball together with him, and he was a very competitive athlete then. He's a very competitive athlete now, and in order to beat him, we're going to have to contain him and put a lot of pressure on him and keep him guessing.
Second down and 10 now, and the Cowboy defense will be trying to guess what he's doing right now. I formation in the backfield with Thomas the deep back. Or is it Calvin Hill back there? They're so far down there, I can't tell. Here's the handoff. It goes to Calvin Hill. He comes to the left, breaks the tackle. He's up to the 8-yard line before he is finally hauled down. It was Mike Thomas, I beg your pardon. Boy, it's a long way down there. Longer than I thought. A pigeon got in my way. I couldn't see. There's also a flag on the play. And we'll check the infraction. Nope. Put the flag back in the pocket. Just dropped it, I guess. Or a pigeon flew by and pulled it out of his pocket.
Something happened.
Third down at 8. Cowboys are 7, rather.
Be a good spot to hold him here.
Sure would. Harmon left side, Thomas right side. Both wide receivers are wide right, and Fugit to the left. On third down and 8. Theismann gets the handoff. Hand up the middle. Out to the 11-yard line or the 16. It's first down. Crossed up the Cowboys on third down 8, and they pick up a 1st and 10. With 7:40 to go in the first half.
Cowboys got to be wondering about what the Redskins are doing here on the prevent. There they go running again. Cowboys bringing the prevent. The Redskins go to the run instead of the pass, and obviously it does make a difference.
They get it out to the 17, a first down 10. Theismann looks into the Cowboy defensive secondary. Has been going on a quick count quite often. Does not this time. Has it. Will throw. Pumps once. Now looks back to the right side. Being chased by Ed Jones. Gets by him. He's at the 15. He's going to run to the 20. And is out of bounds up at the 21-yard line. And Ed is a picture of frustration back at the 7 because he almost had him. Let's pause 15 seconds for station identification. This is the Dallas Cowboy Radio Network.
Carl's Tasty Sausage is packed under the supervision of a member of the McFatridge family to ensure quality.
Carl's Tasty Sausage.
The voice of the Cowboys. This is KRLD Dallas.
KRLD.
Gain of 5, second down 5 at the 22-yard line of the Redskins. They got the ball back at their own 5 and punched it out 17 yards.
Danny White is warming up in back of the Cowboy bench.
For heaven's sake. Theismann has his team back at the line of scrimmage. Will hand it off this time. Sticks it down to Clarence Harmon. He gets maybe a yard. And we'll have a third down and 4 as Harvey Martin made the tackle.
White's loosening up with Tony Hill, so, you know, we could say Tony Hill is loosening up, too.
Well, that is unusual, though. I wonder if something is wrong with Rogers.
Here we go again, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Staubach 4 out of 10 for 79 yards. And Danny White is warming up behind the Cowboy bench. Third down and 4 now for the Cowboy defense as they look at the Redskins breaking the huddle. Buggs to the right side. Frank Grant in the spot to the left. Charlie Waters, quick count. Theismann back, pumps once, looks deep, flips it out for Clarence Harmon. Breaks the tackle, comes left, and he is knocked down. He has a first down at the 33-yard line. Theismann completely crossed him up with a play fake and a bump fake that time, and Henderson finally made the stop.
That time they did not bring in the prevent defense on third down and 4, and sure enough, Theismann did cross him up and elected to throw the football. They had been running a lot against that prevent.
Got a first down out to the 33.5-yard line with 6:04 remaining in a scoreless football game in the first half. Buggs to the left side this time, and Grant in a spot to the right. I formation. Thomas the deep back, and Clarence Harmon the short man.
Theismann will throw, drops back, blitzes on. He pulls up and lets it fly deep for Bugs, overthrow. And incomplete at the Cowboy 40-yard line. Bugs took a pretty good shot from Aaron Kyle, but it happened after the ball whistled by both of their ears and, in fact, hit the ground. I don't think Aaron was quite sure he had the ball or not. Aaron Kyle had some comments on these wide receivers of the Redskins.
They have Danny Bugs starting right now in place of Charlie Taylor. He's has pretty good speed, and they've been going to him a lot more the past 3 games. I guess they're gaining more confidence in him, and he's a pretty good receiver. And Frank Grant, he's, I guess, the most consistent receiver. He's one of the top receivers.
Both of them go to the right side, Bugs and Grant, on 2nd down 10 at the Redskins 33 with 5:45 to go in the first half. Theismann may be audibling at the line of scrimmage, and the Cowboys shift defensively accordingly. Here's Theismann back to throw. Comes across the middle, has a man open. It's Thomas, first down at the 45-yard line. Redskins are moving now effectively on the Cowboys for the first time in the ballgame. They have punched it out from their own 5 to the 45. They got a first down 10 with 5:28 to go. Last 2 first downs came on 3rd down plays, this time on 2nd down. Theismann picked up the first, throwing the ball to Mike Thomas. Been a favorite target this afternoon. Boy, you look back, the Cowboys had a 3rd down and 8 at the 8-yard line, or the Redskins did, and they got the first down. And they have moved it out now to a first down 10 at the 45 with 5:06 to go in the first half. Grant in motion wide right. Theismann hands it off. Right up the middle, it goes to Thomas, and he gets nothing. It'll be 2nd down as Randy White made the tackle. May have even lost a half yard. Thomas had a word or so with Randy, who picked him up and threw him down like a rag doll, and one of the officials got in the way and extended his arm in Thomas's chest, so you better not do that. Prevent defense comes in. Gregory, Washington, Randy Hughes. So Brunig, Dede Lewis, and Jethro Pugh go out on 2nd down 11. They have gone on quick count against the prevent also, and here they come up to the line of scrimmage. Theismann goes with the regular set this time. No quick count. Both wide receivers to the right side on 2nd down 11. He's back to throw. 4-man rush. Pumps once. Goes deep. Has Fugit wide open. Fugit at the 25. Fugit at the 20. Fugit down to the 12. They let him loose. He got behind everybody. Straight down the middle of the field. No question at all as to whether or not he's going to catch the football. Just a race to the goal line. And fortunately, the Cowboys nailed him at the 11-yard line. This could turn out to be a 95-yard drive. Officials call timeout as they wait for Harvey Martin to amble back downfield. Harvey taking his own sweet time. And Washington, on that 45-yard pass play, has now got a first down and 10 at the 11-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys with 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go in a scoreless first half. They have moved from their own 5 to the Cowboy 11. Grant to the right side. Bugs to the left side. Joe Theismann. Under his center, Lindquist. Grant comes in motion across the backfield. Play action. Theismann rolls out. He's going to run. He's to the 10, to the 5. Slides down toward the goal line and is caught at the 1-yard line. He picked up 10 yards on the play. It opened up for him, and he hesitated just a second before he took off, and then he tried to slide into the end zone. And the officials, he actually did slide into the end zone, but the officials say that he was down at the 1-yard line. He started his slide a little bit too early. First and goal, however, he picked up 10. And they've got it inside the 1. Double tight end now as Jerry Smith comes in to join Fugit as a tight end. With 2:49 to go in the first half. Grant in a slot to the right side. Theismann calls for quiet. Cowboys in the goal line defense, obviously. Grant in motion, wide to the left side. Theismann quarterback, sneak touchdown. A 95-yard touchdown march by the Washington Redskins against the Cowboy defense. That's a pretty impressive drive, I'll tell you that, to go that distance against the Cowboy defense, which had been playing very well up until that point. 95 yards in 12 plays, and it took 6 minutes and 2 seconds with 2:36 to go in the first half. And Mosley comes on to try and make it 7-0. Lindquist snaps it. It's a high kick. Mosley does get it away and drills it through.
There's a timeout on the field with our score. The Redskins 7 and the Cowboys nothing. Dallas Cowboy football will continue in a moment.
All across our land, people know our brand.
You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Spark plugs by AC.
People have been thanking AC for sure starts for years. Now, you can also thank AC for helping save you money. Because right now, AC Delco is making it possible for you to get one AC spark plug free when you buy 7 at the regular price. From any participating outlet displaying our buy 7, get 1 free sign. And if your car needs a tune-up, this offer could help you save twice.
Experience the Magnavox Touch, and you'll enjoy television like you've never enjoyed it before. At the touch of your finger, you'll see computer-sharp, computer-fast color pictures. The all-new Magnavox Touch-Tune Color TV gives you beautiful color pictures with the precision of a digital computer, the ease of a push-button telephone. Available at Gaylord's Magnavox, Dallas's largest Magnavox dealer and service center. 2 locations to serve you, Valley View and Town East Mall. Gaylord's Magnavox.
Redskins break the scoreless tie on a 1-yard touchdown plunge by the quarterback, but the key play of that 95-yard drive, the 45-yard pass to former Cowboy Gene Fugit. And the Cowboy offense, which has not done much at all in the ball game, now has 2:36 to take it the opposite direction and hope for the tying score before halftime. Mosley will kick off. Brinson and Johnson are deep. Here's Mosley's approach. Short kick. It'll be taken by Brinson at the 15. Goes to his left to the 20. Tries to find the block. Gets to the 30 and is out to the 35-yard line before he is down. So the Cowboys are 65 yards away with 2:27 to go in the first half. There's a flag down.
I think Hagman took one too many shots at the kicker, Mark Mosley. He hit him a couple of times earlier kicks, and the officials seemed to be warning Hagman, and that time he threw the flag at him.
That's it. Personal foul. So push it back to the 20. A 15-yard penalty against the Cowboys instead of the 35, which is pretty fair field position. They've got it 80 yards away now with 2:27 to go in the first half. Personal foul. Well, they call holding. And the crowd calls defense. Here comes Dallas. Rogers still in at quarterback. So we know not the reason Danny White was warming up. 2:27 to go before halftime. Dorsett and Newhouse behind Staubach. Drew Pearson in motion. Roger back to throw. Looks for Drew. Throws it way deep, and it's overthrown everybody at the 40-yard line of the Redskins. Gerard Williams did a good job of holding Drew up at the line of scrimmage there. And we've got a 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, you're allowed one bump on that wide receiver as he comes off the line to scrimmage, but it seemed to be an awful long bump. It took about 10 yards to complete his bump before he let Pearson go.
Nickel defense comes in for the Redskins. Cowboys 2nd down 10 at the 20-yard line. Staubach 4 out of 11 for 79 yards. Drew comes to the right side. Puts Johnson off to the left. Regular formation, no shotgun. Quick snap, draw play, Newhouse. Rodford heads to the 25 to the 30. He's got a first down at the 35, trying to get out of bounds, and does not do so, but he's up to the 40-yard line with a first down for Dallas.
That'll take it down to the 2-minute warning, which is just 10 seconds away.
So we'll not get another play before the 2-minute warning. There is the timeout. The timeout on the field with our score. Washington 7 and the Cowboys nothing. Dallas Cowboy football will continue in a moment.
Last year, Chevrolet introduced a whole new kind of 6-passenger car, the beautiful new Chevrolet Caprice. And like hot dogs and apple pie, America is eating it up.
Now that's more like it. More like it.
Compared to the 76 full-size Chevrolet, this crisp new kind of Chevy arrived on the scene with more headroom, more rear seat legroom, more trunk room, more corrosion fighters, more ease of maintenance, and more.
Now that's more like it. More like it.
With all that going for it, the new Chevrolet quickly became the best-selling car in America. Now entering its 2nd year, it's still one of the newest new cars around. See and drive the car that has America shouting more, the beautiful new Chevrolet Caprice.
Now that's more like it. That's much more like it. The new Chevrolet.
See what's new today in a Chevrolet.
Cowboys get it back at the 40 now. First down 10, 60 yards away. Tom Landry talking with Roger Staubach over on the far side. You know, Frank, I have tried during this slide to keep from mentioning what happened to the Cowboys last year and try not to draw parallels, but indeed it's beginning to look as though there are some.
Well, you know, last year at this time the Cowboys were even better than they are right now. They were 9-1 after 10 games. They're 8-2, and then of course they lost 2 out of their last 4 games after that, and went into the playoffs with no real momentum, and it showed against the Rams, who were eliminated in the first round.
See what they can do now in the remaining 2 minutes of the first half. Johnson left side, or Golden Richards rather, and Drew Pearson to the right side. Spread formation for the Cowboys on first down 10. Nickel defense in for the Redskins. Here's the snap back to Rogers. Has time, pulls up, lets it fly for Preston. He's got the ball up near the 48-yard line. He'll be a yard short of the first down, and the clock continues to run with 1:51 remaining as Brad Dusek made the tackle and tries to hold Preston from getting up. Cowboys will go without the huddle as soon as they spot the football. 1:42 remaining. Dallas with a second down and 2 at the 48. Fitzgerald quickly over the ball. Snaps it back. Staubach has it. And again, it's forced out of the pocket. Falls up, lets it go for Preston. He is caught as a first down at the 45-yard line of the Redskins, and the Cowboys will call timeout. Gerard Williams made the tackle at the 1st and 10 at the 45 with 1:27 remaining. There is a momentary break in the action, so let's pause for this. You're listening to Dallas Cowboy Football.
Hello, this is Jim Bryant, pastor of the Sagamore Hill Baptist Church in Fort Worth, Texas. Things don't always look bright for the Cowboys during the game, but almost every time this season the game is ended in victory. Things don't always look bright for the Christian either, but God promises to bring his people to victory. My message tonight on Channel 39 at 8:30 p.m. is, If It Be of God. Join us at the Sagamore Hill Baptist Church, 4400 Panola, Fort Worth, Texas, tonight at 8:30 p.m. on Channel 39.
Might mention right here that the Cowboys earlier used one of their timeouts, and they called one now. They have just one remaining. They had to call a timeout earlier on that first down and goal play that led to the fumble. So they've got one timeout remaining, and they've got the ball 45 yards away with 1:27 to go in the first half. And darkness has completely enveloped us all.
Fortunately, however, no precipitation yet, although we are promised it is on the way.
1st and 10, Dallas, here they come. And we'll go from the spread again. Tony Dorsett is not in the lineup now. 4-man look and a blitz threatened by the Redskins. Let's see if they're coming. Fitzgerald waits to snap it, now does. Here comes the all-out blitz. Roger pulls up, lets it go down the sideline, and it's incomplete. Everybody coming for the Redskins. And Roger had to throw off balance, threw off his left foot that time. It'll be second down and 10.
Gerard Williams fell down or was knocked down in the defensive secondary, and had that pass been on target, it could have been a sizable gain.
Golden Richards brings the play in now, and Butch Johnson will head to the bench. 1:22 to go, second down 10 at the 45 of the Washington Redskins. Cowboys going left to right here in the second quarter.
Yeah, Cowboy defense has been on the field an awful long time in this first half.
Washington has had the ball for 17 minutes and 15 seconds of the first half. Spread formation, Staubach at the 50. Again, the blitz book. Preston Pearson in motion, pulls up and stops. Snap is back. There is no blitz. Rogers going deep, way down the middle for Golden. Golden overthrown, and the ball is incomplete at the 3-yard line. He threw the ball behind him a little bit. It'll be third down and 10 at the 45.
Pretty good rush that time by Talbert and also by Dennis Johnson, and Staubach had to pay the price after he delivered the football. He took a pretty good shot and was flattened.
Butch Johnson will bring the play call in. Golden Richards goes to the bench. We've got a third down and 10 with 1:15 to go in the first half, and the Cowboys trailing 7-0. They are huddled back at their own 45. Dupree has not caught a pass yet, and Dorsett is not in the lineup. Roger is 6 out of 15 for 94 yards. Third and 10, and the Cowboys at the line. Again, the spread formation. Preston in motion back toward Roger Staubach. Blitz is threatened, but there is no blitz. Roger goes back, rolls out, has time, fires it deep, overthrows Drew Pearson at the 30-yard line. And way downfield, all by himself at the 5-yard line is Butch Johnson.
Johnson had gotten 10 yards behind everybody, but Staubach was intent on trying to find Drew Pearson over the middle that time. He was in heavy traffic and perhaps threw the ball away, but he simply didn't see Johnson, who was cutting across from right to left and had gotten behind everybody. It seems everybody's paying so much attention to Pearson that Johnson kind of snuck through there.
So Danny White will punt from the 45 or from the 40 on 4th down and 10 at the 45. And Butch was all by himself. D.D. Lewis over the ball. Here's the snap to White. He sent it to the left side. And it probably will go into the end zone. It does. And will come out to the 20-yard line with exactly a minute remaining in the first half. 45-yard punt. And I hear doors slamming behind us. I wonder if that could be the Cowboy coaching staff.
I would imagine, because they're being slammed rather hard.
Redskins get it back with a 7-0 lead. They scored on their last possession, marching 95 yards against the Cowboys. And the Cowboy defense has been unable to come up with a turnover thus far. See if Washington keeps it conservative now, if they'll try and get it. 1st and 10 at the 20. Theismann hands it off. Thomas or Calvin Hill comes left and is cut down at the 26-yard line. He gained 4 yards. And the clock's still running.
Looks like the Redskins are going to be content to run out the clock and go to the dressing room with a 7-0 lead. It's ironic, but the two Cowboy turnovers, things wound up didn't figure in the scoring, except in a negative sense that Dallas lost a touchdown or a cinched field goal in the opening series when they got inside the 5-yard line. And Robert Newhouse fumbled on 1st down, but the only legitimate scoring drive came after a fine Danny White punt. Put the ball out of bounds at the 5-yard line, and the Redskins just methodically moved down the field 95 yards.
We've got only 20 seconds remaining, and the Redskins now call timeout after they had come up to the huddle. So Joe Theismann comes over to the bench. And Randy Hughes is limping off the field over on the left side. Opening series of the ball game, Roger Staubach found Drew Pearson for a 67-yard pass out of bounds at the 1 of Washington. On the next play, Robert Newhouse fumbled it, and Dyron Talbot recovered. That is as serious a threat as the Cowboys have posed thus far. And they have been inside Redskin territory twice in the second quarter, unable to capitalize on either time, and now Mel Renfro comes in for Randy Hughes with 20 seconds to go in the first half.
Temperature right around freezing where it was at game time, and the threat of precipitation, either rain or sleet or snow, before the evening is out here in Washington. And everyone dressed accordingly. Sellout crowd of some 50,000 on hand. This is George Allen's 50th game as the Redskin coach. Their regular season home game, I should say, is 39-9-1.
2nd down and 6 for Washington. Theismann will throw. Back to pass. Pumps once, goes deep, has a man open way down there. Danny Bud belts it out of bounds at the 47 of the Cowboys with 11 seconds to go. And now the clock stops with 10 seconds remaining. Boy, Harris really gave him a shot.
That was your basic elbow in the mush.
Buggs was all by himself. Theismann now 7 of 15. And the Redskins have new life with a 1st down at the Cowboy 46 and 10 seconds remaining.
Well, you figure they've got time for one more play and then a timeout and hopefully give Mosley a shot at a field goal. They're out of his range right now, but another 10 yards or so might give him an outside shot at it, since he is capable of hitting them from better than 50 yards away.
10 seconds remaining, and the clock has been stopped as the Redskins utilize the timeout. Buggs was tackled inbounds, so I don't see how what Harris hit him. And Charlie Waters talks with Ernie Stutner over on the far side and comes in and will call the defensive signals now. Theismann 7 of 15, 123 yards, 0 interceptions.
Cowboys have Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Denver left after this. Redskins have Buffalo and St. Louis on the road and then come home against the Rams. So they've got a pretty tough road to hoe as they try to get into the playoffs.
And here comes Washington now with 10 seconds remaining in the first half. They have the scoreboard and they've got the ball at the Cowboy 47. Theismann looks into the Cowboy secondary, has it and drops back. There's a flag on the play as the Cowboys jumped offside. The pass is incomplete down at the 25-yard line. And a flag is thrown.
Well, Well, Bugs and Cliff Harris were going at it downfield where the ball was thrown out of bounds, and a second flag was thrown in that area as they started to face off. So there were actually two penalty markers thrown in the play. One, I thought, was Bill Gregory jumping offside.
So the Redskins may have their options now with 5 seconds to go. Here's the indication from referee Gordon McCarter. Holding, Redskins. Offside, Dallas. Personal foul, Dallas.
They win.
Wipe it all out. Yeah. That could well summarize what we have seen here in the first half. And you scratch it all and start over with 5 seconds to go.
You know, when you get 3 penalties on one play, you know everything isn't percolating on all cylinders.
So it'll be first down and 10 again with 5 seconds remaining this time at the Cowboy 47.
Well, I would think you'd have one shot at just putting it up and hoping for the pass interference call or, of course, a completion, because I would think one play is all they're going to get off here, barring another penalty, which is not unlikely. The way things have been going.
Cliff Harris and Charlie Waters go over to the bench and talk with the Cowboy coaching staff. Now they come back on, and here come the Redskins. We've got 5 seconds to go in the first half. 7-0 Washington. Cowboy defensive secondary back about 25 yards. No blitz look for the Cowboys. 4-man rush. Theismann back to throw. Pumps once. Harvey gets him and hauls him down at the 43-yard line. And that is the last play of the first half as the half ends. Halftime with our score, the Redskins 7 and the Cowboys nothing. Dallas Cowboy football continues in a moment.
They have failed to capitalize on turnovers, and they have made their share of mistakes. And just as I said, it has not been anything you want to write home about. So hopefully the Cowboys will be able to turn it around and break the slump in the losing streak here in the second half. Our friend Herrera will kick off.
Thank you very much, Brad. Sham. Vern, you don't think any of the Cowboy people are responsible for those chickens over there, do you?
I have a sneaking hunch that some in the organization may have been responsible for getting those chickens in. Have you all told the story about years ago?
Yeah, Joe Bailey told that whole story. He forgot a little bit, but he was young. It happened in this stadium, and it happened to try to disrupt one of George Preston Marshall's halftime spectaculars. Last home game of the season, they always do a big Santa Claus thing. And that was the scheme, and of course the chickens never got uncrated, quite due to accident. Some policeman came up to Dick McCann, who was then the general manager, and asked him, what do we do with all these chickens? And he said, what chickens? And there went the plot. The deep man, Eddie Brown, in the middle. Eddie Moss and Mark Murphy flanking him as Efren Herrera prepares to make his first appearance of the football game. Cowboys received the opening kickoff and did not have a field goal attempt in the first half, and it is time. If the Cowboys are going to get back together. 7-0 is the score. They trail. Here's the kick. Deep, coming down to Brown at the 6-yard line. One of the top kick returners in all of pro football. Back to the 10, 15, 20. Breaks the tackle at the 25 and is up to the 27, 28-yard line. Benny Barnes finally makes the stop for the Cowboys, so the Redskins put it in play. First and 10 at their 28-yard line. Joe Theismann in the first half went 7 out of 15 for 124 yards. Cowboys got to him 3 times. 3 sacks for a total of minus 30. Had been some rumor that we might see some of Bill Kilmer, but obviously that won't be the case, particularly with the Redskins in the lead. Officials marked the ball back at the 27. So it is first and 10 from that point. Here is Theismann backing up to throw. Rolls out slightly to his right. Has Frank Grant at the 30. Breaks the tackle, 35-40. Picks up the first down and is ridden out of bounds at the 45-yard line. He broke the tackle of Aaron Kyle, and then it was run out of bounds by Cliff Harris in front of the Cowboy bench across the way at the 45-yard line. So that's a nifty little pickup for the Redskins of some 17 yards and a first down on the very first play from scrimmage here in the second half.
Certainly, if you're looking for barometers of a turnaround for the Cowboys, that is not an indication of one. No historic oratory at halftime that we've seen evidence of thus far.
Eddie Moss is starting in the backfield for the Redskins, who have some injury problems here in the second half. Handoff goes to Mike Thomas. Thomas is through on the left side, across the 45 out to the 47, and Henderson corrals him at that point after a pickup of 2 yards. It'll be second down and 8. Darkness. RFK Stadium, completely bathed in the artificial lights. Early in the third period, Dallas trailing 7-0. Joe Theismann on a 1-yard quarterback sneak for the only touchdown of the game, set up on a 45-yard pass play to Gene Puget. Theismann sends Danny Buggs wide to the left side. Quick count play, gives to Thomas, tries the sweeper on the right side, met at the line of scrimmage, and no gain this time for the star Redskin runner, as the Cowboys played that very nicely. Defense overall, outside of that one drive, did very well, and one of the Cowboys was shaken up on the play. Man at the bottom of the pile looks like Charlie Waters. Waters is down on his back. I tell you, it was here at RFK Stadium that certainly one of the low points of Charlie's career occurred. I'm sure you remember that broken arm that he suffered for years.
In the playoff game, and we were talking about that, ironically, in the dressing room before this game began.
There's a timeout of the field with the score, Redskins 7, Cowboys nothing. Dallas Cowboys football continues in a moment.
At Jack in the Box restaurants, we know that cooking up great burgers just isn't enough. That's why you'll also find us cooking up things like real onion rings, breakfast omelets with fresh eggs, super tacos, jumbo jacks, breakfast
The food never stops at Jack in the Box. The food never stops at Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box. Now you're cooking.
Taking care of your family means more than food, clothes, and a roof over their heads. Like most breadwinners, your home probably has a substantial mortgage. So if something happens to you, your family could easily lose their home. As housing costs increase, an adequate place to live could become a major problem. But low-cost, decreasing term mortgage life insurance from State Farm can help protect your family against such a loss. For details, call your Dallas, Tarrant County State Farm agent. He's in the yellow page.
Waters is back on his feet and up walking around now. Goes to the Cowboy bench. I don't think he'll stay in there.
I'll tell you what they did, Frank. They made them take Charlie out of the game for one play because the officials called timeout. And if the officials call timeout for an injury, the player must leave the field for at least one play, and he's out of there.
That looked like he had just been winded on the play. 3rd down, 8. Redskins with the football as we go back to work. Washington at its own 47-yard line, leading by a score of 7-0. Theismann straight back into the pocket, gets the pass away. Thomas bobbles it. Did he catch it? I believe he did. Ball popped straight up in the air, came down on his arms, and it's very close for a first down at the 47-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys.
Boy, they have done a great job of sending receivers out into the flat. And Thomas came down just short. The punting unit is coming on, and that's I thought maybe they would gamble and go for it, but they're not going to. Charlie apparently is okay, and Randy White was also out for one play, and he comes back in, but now he goes to the bench.
Butch Johnson backs up to the 10-yard line, anticipating the punt from Mike Bragg. 12 and a half minutes left in the third period. 10 men at the line of scrimmage for the Dallas Cowboys as Bragg awaits the snap from Ted Fritsch and aims it toward the near sideline. Johnson trying to chase it down, signals for the fair catch, and pulls it down and goes out of bounds. His momentum actually carries him out of bounds at the 13. And we had a marker down back at the line of scrimmage, so we may have to do it again. Officiating crew tonight, Gordon McCarter, and the penalty will go against the Cowboys for having an ineligible receiver. Against the Redskins, pardon me, for having an ineligible receiver downfield. So they'll, I'm sure, get to punt it again from 5 yards deeper. And now instead of 4th and 1, it'll be 4th and 6, with the Redskins putting the ball in play back in their end of the field.
You know, watching Charlie Waters down, and thank heavens he got up and appears to be all right. But we did talk, he and Cliff Harris and I were talking in the locker room about playing in this stadium, and that night that he suffered the fractured arm came up, and Cliff Harris made an interesting point. He said he thought he had had more emotional moments in this stadium than in any other place in all of the games he's played as a football player, including all of the games at Texas Stadium. So much has happened to this team here.
He says a crowd here fires him up because it's against him so much. Ready to punt again. Bragg standing back in his 35, awaiting the snap from Fritsch. Cowboys playing return all the way. This time he angles for the far sideline and shanks it rather badly. Out of bounds, somewhere in the area of the 35 or 40-yard line. So that penalty made a big difference. Instead of getting the football back at the 13-yard line, the Cowboys will get to put it in play at about the 38 or 39. That is a punt for a net of 10 yards.
What a difference a penalty makes, huh?
Absolutely.
One other point about the Waters-Harris duo before we let them rest on the bench. Charlie and his wife, Rosie, are expecting their first child, and that child is now 3 days overdue. And he said he had a dream about it the other night, which I will tell you about in just a second.
All right. I can't wait. Tony Dorsett in the backfield along with Robert Newhouse. The officials marked the ball at the 41 of the Cowboys. Very poor punt by Mike Bragg. Dallas' first offensive possession of the second half. Handoff. Dorsett gets by the line of scrimmage, but then is hit and drives forward to the 45-yard line. Mike Curtis, the outside linebacker, filling in for Chris Hamburger along with Jake Scott, who is playing with 3 broken ribs, made the tackle at the 44-yard line. Pickup of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Actually, Ralph Neely had the dream, and he told Charlie about it. He said that he dreamt that Charlie and his wife had the child during the game. And Charlie, upon hearing this, said, I know it was a child. What was the score of the game?
2nd and 7. Cowboys from their 44. Give to Dorsett. Sweeps the left side. Cuts back in across the 50 and dives forward to the 48-yard line of the Washington Redskins, and that'll be close for a first down. Dennis Johnson makes the stop with an assist from Curtis. Curtis has done an outstanding job filling in for Chris Hamburger. They did start Hamburger in the Monday night game against Green Bay, but then he was shaken up, aggravated an old knee problem, and Curtis came back in. This is close enough for measurement, so he got an official timeout with 11 minutes and 26 seconds left to play in the third period here at RFK Stadium. Got the chains out there. They stretch him, and they show that the Cowboys picked up the first down by about the length of the football at the 49-yard line of the Washington Redskins.
Well, the Cowboys have been dominated in the second half of the last 2 games, in direct contrast to what they had established in the first 8. And vitally important to turn that factor around this ball game. Let's see if they can do it.
Pearson to the right side, Butch Johnson to the left. The give to Newhouse up the middle. Cuts off left tackle, reaches the 46, maybe the 45. Should be a pickup of, let's call it 3 in the play. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Darren Talbert, and again Curtis in on the stop. Yeah, the Cowboys just have not played well offensively, and that's got to be a major concern, despite the fact that they hold a 2-game edge going into this contest. They've got to start playing well and getting set for the playoffs if they're going to get there. Even if they do get there, they're not going to last long the way they're playing. 2nd and 7. Staubach has him up to the line of scrimmage, sends Drew Pearson in motion from left to right, fakes to Dorsett, and runs straight up the middle. He's to the 40-yard line and down to the 36, and that's a first down.
And that was a busted play. That was not a quarterback draw, I do not believe. Roger was looking for a receiver and could not find anybody, and all of a sudden tucked it and ran. Boy, you remember that 13-0 game up here when the Cowboys began the drive, and Roger rambled for 29 yards down on the left side of that game, and Mike Clark kicked a couple of field goals. Dallas won at 13-0. And up until last year, that was their last win here.
This crowd murmur getting louder and louder as the Redskins defense yields more and more yardage in this mini drive of the Cowboys, which has now reached the Washington 36-yard line. Staubach's got him in the I formation. Fades back to throw. Protection is good. Throws the bomb intended for Butch Johnson. Penalty marker is down, and I believe Johnson was held up at about the 10-yard line by Gerard Williams.
Oh, there was no doubt about that when he actually reached out and grabbed his jersey. And in that case, it was simply Williams saying, well, I'm whipped. I've got no alternative. I'll grab him and hope they don't see it. But it was a very obvious penalty, and Butch knew it. Gerard Williams knew it. There's no complaining about it. And the Cowboys get a first down at the 17.
Not quite as deep as we thought. They say the infraction occurred at the 17-yard line of the Redskins, but it's a first down for the Cowboys and their deepest penetration since the very opening series of this ball game. But on 3rd down, Roger Staubach hit Drew Pearson for some 67 yards. That took it to the 1-yard line, and the Cowboys fumble in the next play.
Dorsett goes out. Tony Hill comes in. Newhouse started out, comes back in. There's a strange offensive set that's in there now. And Hill, the Cowboys have 3 wide receivers in the game.
Looks like there's a little confusion in there, too. Here's Staubach handing to Newhouse up the middle of the 10, and Newhouse busts it to the 8, maybe to the 7-yard line. That'll be within a yard of a first down. Tackle finally made by Jake Scott.
What a strange call that was. All of a sudden, Newhouse is the only running back. There was mass confusion in the offensive line, and I think they were lucky they didn't draw a flag for procedure prior to the snap, but it worked. whatever it was supposed to be.
Well, it was supposed to make the Redskins thing pass, which obviously they did, and Staubach fed it to Newhouse, and he carried to the 8. It'll be second down and a yard needed for the first down. Cowboys going for the equalizer. Here, midway in the third period. Here's Staubach handing to Dorsett. He drives to the 5, has the first down, and then is shoved back. So Tony Dorsett picks up the first down, and the dancing bear, Ron McDowell, pushes him back, but it'll be first and goal to go for the Dallas Cowboys at the Redskins 5-yard line.
I'll tell you, Frank, this is encouraging, I think, because the Cowboys showed no spark whatsoever offensively in the first half. This has now become their best drive of the ball game. They did not put anything together in the second half at Pittsburgh. Looked fairly good on big plays in the first half, but they've strung this one out really well.
First and goal to go from the Redskins 5-yard line. Dorsett and Robert Newhouse to the backfield behind Roger Staubach, who calls the signals. The give is to Dorsett. 4, maybe the 3-yard line, and then pushed back by a whole horde of redshirts. Couple of yards for Tony Dorsett. This drive started back at the 41-yard line. You'll recall after the 10-yard punt, which was shanked by Mike Bragg. The officials mark it at the 4, so give Dorsett just a yard on the play, and it'll be second down and goal to go. Golden Richards ducks into the huddle, informing Roger Staubach of the next message from Tom Landry. Drew Pearson breaks wide to the right side. Gerard Williams picks him up. Richards split out to the left. Second and goal to go from the 4. To fake to Newhouse. The pass to Richards. Touchdown. Nice fake to Robert Newhouse, and he drilled Golden Richards coming across the middle, who went high in the air and pulled it down 9 yards deep in the end zone. And the Cowboys are within a point of tying it up.
Oh, that was a well-run play, well-executed play, a great fake, and they picked on the all-pro strong safety Ken Houston, in addition to Brad Dusek, in addition to Joe Lavender, all three in the general area of Golden Richards. A tremendously nice and effective drive, very crisp 59 yards.
Here's Herrera to try to tie it up. Waters to hold. The snap, he puts it down, the kick is up. It is good, and we've got a tie game. Time out of the field with the score. The Cowboys 7 and the Redskins 7. Dallas Cowboys football continues in a moment.
Get the camera truck closer, Rodney. I must get a close-up of this remarkable beast. Closer, closer. Get us out of here, Rodney.
You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Sparkles by AC.
Peel out of Banana Land with the Hot Plug AC. AC spark plugs give quick starts, smooth power, and if you need a tune-up, AC spark plugs can help restore good gas mileage. Go with the hot one, AC Fire Ring Spark Plugs. You'll be thankful you did. AC Delco and APSCO Auto Parts have something convenient for the do-it-yourself mechanic. It's the AC Delco tune-up kit with a matched set of spark plugs, points, and condenser. Now during AC Delco tune-up days at APSCO Auto Parts, it's a great time to pick up an AC Delco tune-up kit with AC Fire Ring spark plugs and Delco Remy points and condenser all in one package. APSCO has machine shop service, radiator repair, and delivery for all AC Delco parts and accessories. Depend on the 4 locations of APSCO Auto Parts.
Well, Cowboy fans have to be breathing a huge sigh of relief after that 59-yard drive. It took them 9 plays to get in. And Herrera getting ready to kick off. Score tied at 7, and the non-existent Cowboy offense in the first half takes the ball on its very first possession of the second half of play and ties this football game up. The deep men for the Washington Redskins, Eddie Brown in the middle, flanked by Eddie Moss on his right and Mark Murphy on his left. Herrera awaiting the whistle from the referee, Gordon McCarter. He's got it, and here we go. It matches on the ball, kicks it, hooks it to the right side. This one may go out of bounds. It does at the 15-yard line. So Herrera will have to do it again from the 30. Looked like one of your golf shots.
Yes, but it had a lot more distance than my golf shot.
It did indeed.
You know, the Cowboy defense, I would think, would be very encouraged by what they just saw, because they have got to become exasperated over the last 3 games by the lack of offensive punch. And I should hope that those defensive 11 guys would get inspired now by what the Cowboy offense just did, because they really cranked it up and stuck it down to the Redskins on the first series of the third quarter. And it'll be interesting to see now how the defensive guys respond to this. They have played well, I think, for the most part. But, you know, the one thing they were doing in the first part of the season were capturing turnovers, getting the big plays. And they have not been getting turnovers here in the last 2 or 3 games, and they have none thus far in this ball game.
Interceptions haven't been coming. The fumble recoveries, just haven't seen them. Henderson made a lot of those at the start of the season. So did Cliff Harris. Here's Herrera advancing on the ball again. Again hooking this one, but it'll stay inbounds. Brown will field it at the 5, comes straight up the middle to the 10, 15, 20, 25, and jammed up at about the 25-yard line. Shoved back several yards. His point of advance will be the 26. And that's where the Redskins will put it in play.
I tell you, that was a pretty fair kick by a friend Herrera, kicking back from the 30 and sending it to the 5.
Not bad at all. He's been under some heat here the last couple of weeks for the lack of length in the kickoffs. He put his entire body into that one. He was honored last night, by the way, in a reception up here.
American GI Forum, that's right.
First and 10. Redskins at their 26-yard line. This is only their second possession of the second half of play. Theismann at quarterback, hands to Thomas, and Thomas is tripped up at the line of scrimmage by Jethro Pugh. Got him by the ankles behind the line, and Thomas dove to reach the line of scrimmage. So nothing. Second down. A little under 10 needed for the first down. Randy White has been in and out of the lineup here since the start of the second half. He is back in there right now. Dallas and the Redskins. Another one of their tight battles, 7-7. Here's Theismann dropping back into the pocket to throw. The rush is on. He gets it away. Far sideline it goes, and the receiver, Harmon, is hit by Thomas Henderson after very short yardage. Got maybe a yard out to the 28-yard line. That's where they'll put it down. Give him 2 yards in the play. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
Prevent defense comes in, and as Frank pointed out in the first half, the Redskins ran quite a bit against the prevent and crossed him up. Calvin Hill is coming in the game. He had a 34-yard run against the prevent defense in the first half. Let's see what they do now.
Ermal Allen told us at halftime they're running the trap play very successfully against the Cowboy prevent defense. Got an official timeout here with 6 minutes and 20 seconds left to play in the third period at RFK Stadium. Cowboys 7, Washington 7. Cowboys will return to Dallas right after the game. They're doing about 11 o'clock or so tonight, and then begin preparations for the Philadelphia Eagles, who are next on the docket in a game that's already sold out at Texas Stadium next Sunday afternoon.
What's the arrival time?
About 11.
Confirm that? My wife forgot to pick me up last week. I just want her to know because she's listening back there. 11 o'clock, Kathy.
Be there.
That gets to be a lonesome place late at night in that airport. And she told me on the phone last night, make sure you let me know what time the plane's coming in. So
all right.
It has been duly recorded and done now.
And you saved yourself the long-distance phone call.
That's right.
3rd down, 8. Here come the Redskins. Moving from their 28-yard line. Cowboy defense digging and trying to hold him here. Force the punt. Theismann back to throw it. Way back in the pocket. Scrambles back at the 15. He starts to run to the 20. Now fires on the run, and the pass is caught at the 40-yard line for the first down by Danny Buggs. Little shoestring catch by Buggs. A diving shoestring catch. And a very fine play. Benny Barnes was there with him, but was completely helpless. All Benny could do is put his hands on him after he was down. And that's a first down.
Well, there's the one thing Joe Theismann can add to the Redskin offense that Bill Kilmer cannot. Had Kilmer been at quarterback then, he would in all likelihood have been caught by the chasing Cowboy defenders, and instead, Washington keeps the drive alive with a first down 10 at the 40.
I mean, Theismann threw that thing running full throttle. 1st and 10. Redskins at their 39-yard line. Got the drive, still got it going. Handoff is to Harmon. Sweeps the left side up to the 40 to the 43-yard line. And ridden out of bounds at the 44. Cliff Harris on the tackle. He's made a lot of tackles. That's not necessarily good news when your weak safety has to make a lot of tackles in the football game. That means they're penetrating the front 4. Clock moving along with 4 minutes and 55 seconds left to play in the third period. Tie game. Cowboys trailed at halftime 7-0, but came back with the equalizer on their first drive of the second half. Pickup of 6 by the Redskins on that last play. It'll be 2nd down 4. Washington owning the football at their 45-yard line. Joe Theismann has gone all the way at quarterback. Quick handoff goes to the first man through, and that's Harmon. And Harmon is near midfield before he stopped, and that's going to be close for a first down. Let's pause 15 seconds for station identification. This is the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
When you buy Carl's Tasty Sausage, you're buying the best.
Carl's Tasty Sausage. The voice of the Cowboys. This is KRLD Dallas.
KRLD.
It's close enough to measure here at RFK Stadium, and they're stretching the chains right now. The Redskins appear to be less than a foot short of the first down. So less than a foot needed for the first down with Washington at its 49-yard line. Desperately trying to stay alive and stay in playoff contention. Things would look rather dim for the Redskins if they do drop this one. Harmon and Mike Thomas line up in the backfield behind Theismann, who brings him up to the line of scrimmage on third down and a foot. Theismann has been going with the short count, this time on a long count play. Hands the ball to Harmon, and he's still behind the line of scrimmage by Jethro Pugh. Second key tackle by Pugh in the last couple of minutes, and he's tripped up for a loss of 4 back to the 45-yard line.
Good point, Frank. Second key tackle, because Jethro, quite candidly, has not had a sensational year. He's showing the effects of age, I think, and Bill Gregory and Larry Cole have been playing in his spot quite a bit. But, boy, he has made 2 contributing tackles on this current drive.
All right, here's Bragg, whose last kick traveled only 10 yards. Butch Johnson and Tony Hill are back deep for the Cowboys around the Dallas 20-yard line. Cowboys plan to return all the way. Nice high punt this time. And very deep. Tony Hill makes the catch at the 14, 15, 20, up to the 21-yard line, and there he is swarmed under. And the Dallas offense will put it in play at the 21-yard line after the 41-yard punt. Time out on the field with our score, the Cowboys 7 and the Redskins 7. Dallas Cowboys football continues in a moment.
If you want to watch with quartz crystal accuracy, Sanger-Harris has just what you're looking for. The Seiko Digital Quartz LC Alarm Chronograph. This handsome slim watch features continuous readout in hours, automatic calendar displays month, day, and date, and the alarm can be set to sound daily at the designated AM or PM time. The chronograph mode displays hours, minutes, and seconds for recording elapsed time and lap time. Come to Sanger-Harris and see the Seiko Digital Quartz LC Alarm Chronograph. It's so precise, it's actually changing the world's standard of accuracy.
At Southwestern Bell, we have 2 bargain ways for you to save on long-distance phone calls every night of the week. The first way is a reduced evening rate that starts at 5 p.m. and lasts until 11 p.m. Then after 11 each night, the cost of long-distance calling drops even more. Here's an example. You can call a friend in Washington after 5 and discuss the Cowboy game for 10 minutes for only $2.44 plus tax. But after 11, the same call costs only $1.50. That's a lot of football talk for only $1.50. Why don't you try it tonight and save some money? Southwestern Bell.
Frank Glieber along with Vern Lundquist and Brad Sham. RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. in the second of the 2 annual battles between the Cowboys and the Redskins, 2 of the fiercest rivals in all of pro football. Here come the Cowboys up to the line of scrimmage. First and 10 at their 21-yard line. Staubach, quick pitch. Dorsett, right side, 20, 25, 27-yard line. That's a pickup of 6. Tony has played rather sporadically. He's been in and out of the lineup. Brad Dusek made the tackle, and he may be slowed a little bit by that knee, but he didn't actually start the game, but he came in on the second play from scrimmage. He's carried 11 times for 37 yards. Cowboy ground game hasn't really amounted to that much. Newhouse has picked up 30, and Staubach is added 16. Second down, Dallas needs 4 for the first down. Cowboys at their 27-yard line. This is their second offensive possession of the second half. First one for a touchdown, handoff, inside handoff. The Newhouse tries the left side, keeps his feet, crosses the 30 out to the 35, and fumbles the ball out of bounds. And the Cowboys will retain possession at the 40-yard line.
Well, the block was made by Tom Rafferty, pulling from his right guard position, and got a block on the linebacker out there to allow Newhouse to get around the corner, and then Bobby really scooted downfield, but Rafferty kind of helped make the play go.
He did a great job of maintaining his balance as he turned the corner. He was hit by someone and sent reeling, but he refused to go down, kept his feet, and got to the 40-yard line. So Dallas offense showing signs of life here in the third period of play. Jay Saldi has now joined Billy Joe Dupree. Double tight end setup. Handoff right up the middle to, who was it? Dorsett. I get so excited there, I didn't know who took the ball. Took it up the middle. Darren Talbert made the stop at the 45. That's another 5 yards.
I love it because it happened to you, and it happens to me so often.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, that was nice.
Well, I can't blame that on anybody. I can't blame it on being high here and a bad view.
How about being cold?
No, I don't blame it on that either.
Okay.
All right. Second down, 5. The Redskin crowd, the murmur starting a little louder. Here's Staubach rolling out to his right. Pursued to the near sideline. Finally throws the ball. It's almost intercepted. Oh, my. Gerard Williams went up high and had a shot at an interception at the 48-yard line of the Washington Redskins.
I really wonder, Roger was off balance. Now I'm going to stutter. But that was a very poorly thrown pass. And he threw it off balance again and did not have anybody open down there. And the Cowboys fortunate that things was not picked off.
Third down. Cowboys still need 5 for the first down. They're at their 45-yard line. Score tied at 7 with 1:49 left to play in the third period. Staubach has Drew Pearson wide to the right side. Golden Richards is split to the left. Now he drops Dorsett in the slot off to the left, and Butch Johnson in the slot off to the right. From the triple wing, he throws the ball over the head of Drew Pearson at the 48-yard line of the Redskins. Thing really took off on him, and Pearson never had a shot at it.
And Pearson was open.
All Drew could do is look up and watch it sail way over his head and on beyond the Redskin bench. All the Redskins' defense is held.
Look back at Roger as soon as he let it go, and it was obvious the pass was going to be high. And, boy, he just turned his head and snapped his head in anger.
Staubach is 7 out of 19, 98 yards, 1 interception, and 1 touchdown. Eddie Brown drops back deep, anticipating the punt from Danny White, who's standing on his 30-yard line. Good snap from D.D. Lewis. And White gets it away, and this one will drive Brown back inside the 10. He fields it at the 4 and going to bring it out to the 10-yard line. Near sideline to the 15. A penalty marker is thrown back at the 10, and I think that's going to be a clip against the Redskins inside the 10-yard line. Brown was finally dropped at the 19-yard line.
There were 2 officials back there. One who should have called it did not. The other upfield did. But the one official who was right near the play did not throw the flag, and I was surprised not to see it.
That will be half the distance to the goal from the 9-yard line, which is where the foul occurred, and will put the Redskins deep in the hole. 51-yard boomer off the toe of Danny White. And Gordon McCarter, the referee, places the ball down at the 4. Rusty Tillman of the Redskins was guilty of the clip. So the Redskins have their backs to the wall, but keep in mind their only touchdown drive came when they were this far away from the Cowboy goal line. Some 95 yards. 1 minute, 32 seconds left to play in the third period. Score tied at 7. There's a timeout of the field with our score, Dallas 7. Washington 7. Dallas Cowboys football continues in a moment.
The 1978 Chevrolet Monza is great to look at and fun to drive. And this year's Monza is lower priced than many of the comparably equipped foreign cars. Its steering is sharp and accurate. It's quick and clean through the corners. When you press the accelerator of the new Monza, it responds instantly. That's important in today's freeway traffic that pauses for no man. The best news is the deal your Dallas County Chevy dealer is making now on 1978 Monzas. With each new Monza purchased and delivered before December 10th, your Dallas County Chevy dealer is giving the purchaser a check to pay for 143 gallons of gas. That's enough gas to drive your new Monza 4,000 miles. Just think, your first 4,000 miles of driving pleasure comes free. See your Dallas newspaper for details. Then see one of the Chevy specialists to test drive the 1978 Monza for yourself. 6 of the participating dealers are Friendly, Stakely, Frank Parr, Duran, Late, and more Chevrolet.
Redskins have the football, 1st and 10 from their own 4-yard line, following the clipping penalty against Rusty Tillman. Score tied at 7. Harmon and Thomas are the setbacks behind Joe Theismann, the former Notre Damer, who brings him up to the line of scrimmage. Cowboy defense digs in. Here's Theismann dropping back into his end zone. Protection is good. Now he runs, and he finally gets the ball away as he was being hit in the end zone, and we have a penalty marker thrown in the end zone. He was tackled in the end zone for what would have been a safety and delivered the football as he was falling down, and we got a marker thrown immediately. See what this one's about. Grounding. He's called for grounding the ball.
You know, there has been some discussion about changing the rule on grounding when it would have been a safety. This happened in the first game of the year against Minnesota when Tarkenton did exactly the same thing. So you're penalized 2 yards. So what? You don't give up the 2 points. You don't have to take the free kick. And it seems like that there ought to be, My English teacher is just turning over right now. It seems as if there should be a change in the rule to penalize the offending team in a situation like that, and by granting the safety.
2-yard penalty, half the distance to the goal. Redskins now 2nd and 12 from the 2-yard line. And Theismann hands off in the end zone out to Thomas, and Thomas gets it out to the neighborhood of the 5-yard line for a pickup of 3 in the play. It'll be 3rd down 7. You know, in other instances, you get a holding call in the end zone, you're penalized to safety.
Right.
So it seems to be a little inconsistent.
I mean, if you're the quarterback and you're about to go down and you know you're going to give up 2 points, throw it in the stands. What the heck? You know, take the half the distance penalty.
And that looked like a cinch safety for the Cowboys. 3rd down, 8 needed for the 1st down. Redskins at their 5-yard line. Key play here if the Cowboys can hold them. Redskins will be punting from deep out of their end zone. Joe Theismann backpedaling into the end zone. Protection is good. He rolls to his left, gets the pass away, intended for Bugs, and caught at the 35. No, he was out of bounds. Bugs was out of bounds at the 35-yard line. And the Redskins all over the official, particularly Bugs. He is really hot.
I must say, I think with some justification, I thought it was a good pass catch. I am surprised by that.
That could be a critical play in this ball game later on. And again, had we had our Magnavox monitor here, we could probably tell you how critical it was. Here's Bragg, punting from deep in the end zone, gets the kick away, and it's a beauty. Butch Johnson backpedaling to his 48, 50, 45. A penalty marker is thrown as Johnson is run down at the 41-yard line. And this one may be a clip against the Cowboys. 47 yards on the kick, and under the pressure circumstances, a very good kick by Mike Bragg. And the option apparently does lie with the Washington Redskins. A clip it is against Dallas. And that'll move the Cowboys back into their own end of the field. But nevertheless, they wind up with fairly decent field position. Is that Thunder?
No, that is the Cowboy coaching staff in the booth next to us expressing their displeasure with that call. Or with that player, perhaps.
15 yards being marked off by the referee, Gordon Carter, which will move it back to the Dallas 45-yard line. Well, the Redskins come out of that really in pretty good shape, all things considered. Here come the Cowboys. 1st and 10, score tied at 7. We've only got 26 seconds left to play in the 3rd period. Roger Staubach, and looked like Dorsett was in motion. The pitch goes to Robert Newhouse, and Newhouse gets it out to the 48-yard line for a pickup of 3. But a penalty marker is down as Dorsett took a false step before the ball was snapped. And yet another penalty will go against the Cowboys. That's 20 yards here in the last 2 plays. Illegal motion against Dallas. So the Cowboys will be shoved back 5 yards to the 40-yard line. It'll be 1st down and 15 from that point. Is right. That's about all you can say at this point. That momentum, it looked like the offense had generated at the start of the second half on its first drive. May have fizzled out here a little bit. Here's Staubach sending Drew Pearson wide to the right side where Gerard Williams picks him up. That puts Johnson off to the left. Newhouse and Dorsett in the backfield. The give on the delay goes to Newhouse, and Newhouse crunches out to the 43-yard line. Pickup of 3. It'll be second down 12. Harold McClinton, the middle linebacker, and Mike Curtis make the stop.
Roger Staubach is heading to the sidelines. I think the Cowboys, well, no, they have not called timeout.
The quarter has run out.
There you go.
All right, he gets to do that. That's the end of the third quarter with our score, the Cowboys 7 and the Redskins 7. Dallas Cowboy football continues in a moment.
From now on, every day is Sunday at McDonald's because we've got new McDonald's Sundays.
You're the one. Come try our brand new Sunday.
Terrific movie.
Oh, wow.
Let's all go get a Sundae.
Oh,
There's a little place on 6th Street. Why don't we go there?
Oh,
We go to
good. I
McDonald's.
can use one of my mom's Sundays.
We could go to McDonald's.
This guy runs an antique store, and he also has Sundays.
We could go to McDonald's.
McDonald's? We're talking about Sundays.
I'm talking about Sundays. McDonald's has Sundays.
Do they have hot caramel Sundays?
Hot caramel, hot fudge.
They got pineapple, you got me.
Pineapple. We got them. How about strawberry? They got strawberry.
Oh, what are we waiting for?
The bus. Oh, come on. Taxi. Taxi.
Hey, hey, it's hooray. Now every day can be Sunday at McDonald's.
Sundays all right.
Big vanilla swirls topped with hot fudge, hot caramel, or frosty strawberry or pineapple.
Pineapple? Yeah.
Hot fudge.
We do it all for you.
Final 15 minutes of play from RFK Stadium in Washington. Cowboys and the Redskins tied at 7-all for the first down. Dallas trailed at halftime 7-0. 95-yard touchdown drive by the Redskins in the first half. The Cowboys came back with a 59-yard drive on their first possession of the second half. Culminated in a 4-yard touchdown pass from Roger Staubach to Golden Richards. Joe Theismann scored the Redskins' only touchdown on a 1-yard quarterback sneak. Preston Pearson coming into the backfield rather late, replacing Newhouse, who sprints to get off the field. Staubach brings him up in the shotgun on second down 11. Now sends Preston Pearson in motion from left to right across the backfield, takes the snap, winds up, in trouble, rolls to his right, still looking to throw on the run, decides to run the football. He is out near the 50-yard line and falls into Washington territory at the 49.
Got a good block out there from Billy Joe Dupree, but there were 2 Redskin defenders in the general area, and Billy Joe could just pick on one of them. But Roger really got pressured that time.
He got 7 or 8 yards in the play, which will set up third down, and the Cowboys still need a long 3 for the first down with the ball now in Redskin territory at the 49-yard line. So a big play for the Cowboys as they try to keep this drive going.
Cowboys are 1 out of 6 on third down conversions.
Butch Johnson wide to the left side. Joe Lavender staring him in the face. Pearson is off to the right. Gerard Williams covering him. Here's Staubach dropping straight back into the pocket. Protection good. Now he moves out to his left. Gets the pass away. Intended for Johnson, and Johnson can't quite get to it. Drew Pearson was also in the general area, but he was coming across underneath and was a little bit further away. Pressure by Dennis Johnson, particularly that time on Staubach, who flushed him out of the pocket and forced him to move to his left.
Second time in the last 2 series, the Cowboys had a third down in less than 5. Second time, Roger has tried to go with the pass. Second time, it's been ineffective. He is now 7 for 20. He came into the ball game hitting 58% on the season.
A little bit unusual call on third down 3 to go for the bomb in effect. But a short sideline throw might have picked up the first down, kept the drive going. Danny White back to punt it. Redskins with 9 men on the line of scrimmage. We get contact before the snap, and the play is whistled dead as White does field the snap. Never gets the punt away.
Looks like Dupree may have moved and drawn the Redskins offside.
Hey, if that goes against the Redskins, that's a Dallas first down.
Yes. I believe that's what's going to happen, by golly.
Offside against the Washington Redskins. How about that?
And I thought Billy Joe had moved. That is a big play. Wow.
That will give Dallas a first down at the Redskins' 44-yard line. So what the offense was unable to do, the punting team got done for without even snapping the ball.
It's a game of special teams, right? They're 30% of the football game.
Isn't it now? That could come down to be a big play in this football game. Cowboys going with a double tight end setup right now as Billy Joe Dupree and Jay Saldi are both in there. As Dallas huddles back on its 45-yard line. 13 minutes, 58 seconds left to play in the game. Dallas 7, Washington 7. Drew Pearson breaks the huddle. He's flanked wide to the right side. The rest of the T in tight. And the handoff straight up the middle to Newhouse, and Newhouse crawls inside the 40-yard line to the 38. At no time was his nose more than 3 inches off the ground.
It looked like a Sherman tank, honest to heaven. He's short as it is, but when he bends down that low and then starts going forward, he looked almost like a 3-year-old about to dive into the swimming pool for the first time.
That's a pickup of 4. It'll be second down 6. And the nose of the football now is just inside the Redskin 40-yard line. Pearson to the right side. Golden Richards to the left. Bit of stunning by the Redskins prior to the snap. Here's Staubach back to throw. Pressure is on. He gets the pass away over the outstretched hands of Billy Joe Dupree, who is cutting across the middle at the 35-yard line with Mike Curtis trailing him. Staubach threw that a little quicker than he possibly wanted to. Good rush by Carl Lorch, the second-year defensive lineman from USC. And now Dallas has a third down 6.
And Roger is now 7 out of 21.
Time to call the offside play again.
Yeah, that's right.
Dorsett moves off the field. Cowboys use Scott Laidlaw in their passing setup. They set up a double wing on each side. 2 receivers on each side of the line of scrimmage. Send Preston Pearson in motion. Staubach from the shotgun. A lot of pressure. Still on his feet. Gets the pass away. He's got a man open at the 25 for the first down. As Staubach did an excellent job getting that pass away. We've got a scramble. Jay Saldi made the reception down at the 25-yard line. Fell to the 23 and came up kicking and fighting.
He and Ken Houston were having at each other. Ken Houston had missed the coverage on Saldi. I think he thought Staubach was going to be sacked because there was a maximum blitz on the third down play. But the Cowboys get the conversion. No flags are down on the goings-on downfield, and Dallas has a first down at the Redskin 23.
Staubach did a great job avoiding the rush. He ducked under one tackler. Looked like he had him, but Roger ducked underneath him, managed to maintain his balance, straighten up, and fired the strike to Saldi. He's come up with some key catches here in recent weeks. First down. Dallas Cowboys at the Redskin 23. The pitch goes to Dorsett. He's inside the 20. Breaks a tackle to the 15 and is to the 13-yard line. And that's close for another first down. Jake Scott made the touchdown preventing tackle. And this may be close enough for measurement.
Yeah, you're right, Frank. If Scott doesn't catch him at 6 points, he was the last man who had a chance. Tony does not appear to be as confident today. I think the word is what I'm looking for. Because of that knee injury, I think.
Cowboys are slightly short of a first down. Matter of less than 6 inches.
Of course, Brad Sham just looked over and said, well, you know, he has not practiced all week. That injury happened on Wednesday.
Absolutely. His practice Thursday and Friday, and of course they just had the light loosening up drill yesterday before they got on the plane for Washington. Second down, inches for the first down for the Dallas Cowboys at the Washington Redskins 13-yard line as the Cowboys drive for what will be the go-ahead score in the football game. 12 minutes, 25 seconds left to play in the game. Staubach has him up to the line of scrimmage in the I formation. He's got Drew Pearson in that full house backfield. Now sends Pearson in motion off to the right. Roger gives to Newhouse. Newhouse fights his way down to the 11-yard line. They pick up the 3 yards on the play, and that's a Cowboy first down. Nose of the ball be placed just outside the 10, so the Cowboys conceivably could make another first down before they cross the goal line as Ken Houston and Jake Scott made the stop.
Tell you, Frank, they almost misfired on that exchange. That was not the prettiest exchange. They bumped into each other, but Newhouse did manage to hang on and picked up the 1st and 10. Now Tony Hill has come in.
And Newhouse has come out of the ballgame.
And Dupree is out also. 3 wide receiver offense.
Dorsett is the only setback, and Roger has no one behind him now as he puts Dorsett in the slot. Here's Staubach back to throw, rolls out to his right, fires over the middle, completes it to Butch Johnson at the 5-yard line. And Johnson is dragged down immediately. Johnson tackled on the 5. The Cowboys have to get to, well, call it the 1.5-yard line to pick up the first down. 5 yards away from the go-ahead touchdown or a chip shot field goal. Clock moves on with 11 minutes left to play in the game. And Carl Lorch comes racing onto the field in the defensive line for the Washington Redskins, replacing Jake Scott. They put in an extra defensive lineman. Second down, 4 for the first down, 5 for the touchdown. From the Redskin 5, the handoff goes to Preston Pearson around left end. Pearson dives inside the 5 and out of bounds on the near side, close to the 3. So it'll be third down, and Dallas will still need 1.5 yards for the first, and one of the Redskins was shaken up. John Fitzgerald of the Cowboys came out of that melee limping.
That's Dennis Johnson, I believe, holding his left knee at the 5-yard line.
And he's one of their best defensive linemen. There's a timeout on the field with our score. The Cowboys 7 and the Redskins 7. Dallas Cowboys football continues in a moment.
Boy, you feel proud when you got a truck. You know it's really built to stay tough. It's a riding high feeling all the way in a big tough truck from Chevrolet.
For 1978, your Chevy dealers got one tough truck after another for you. Half-ton, three-quarter-ton, and one-ton fleet-side pickups filled with double steel walls in vital areas. A brand-new V8 diesel available in C10 models. Tough Chevy Blazers with a new fold-down rear seat available. Suburban Super Wagons, versatile Chevy vans, and new high-style Chevy El Caminos. Incredibly, they're also trucks. See them all at your Chevy dealers.
Boy, you feel proud when you got a truck. You know it's really built to stay tough. It's a riding high feeling all the way in a big tough truck from Chevrolet.
Dennis Johnson requiring assistance for what looks to be a knee injury. John Fitzgerald of the Cowboys has also gone out. Tom Rafferty is now at center, and Burton Lawless has moved to Rafferty's guard position. That's where we stand. With 10 minutes and 43 seconds left to play in the football game. The score tied at 7, but the Cowboys threatening here. As we head back to play, they'll have a third down. They need approximately 1.5 yards for the first down. And 3, of course, for the touchdown.
What you don't call here is a draw play.
I don't think we'll see that this week somehow. All right, Dorsett is in the backfield. Newhouse is in the backfield. Looks like Laidlaw, huh?
Yep.
Third down. 1.5 yards for the first down, 3 for the touchdown. Handoff Dorsett. He's down to the 1 and then shoved back. I think he has got enough for the first down. Depends where they spot it. Tony Dorsett straight up the middle. It'll be close for the first down. Official timeout, as we'll have a measurement. And the Cowboys apparently don't think they made it because Herrera and the field goal unit are coming on. Not close enough for measurement, they say. Now they change their minds, so they do bring the chains in from the near side.
Sure looks like it.
That is very close. They stretch the chains, put them down, and the Cowboys are short by a matter of 6 inches of picking up the first down. So now comes the decision for head coach Tom Landry. Herrera was already in there. Now he's looking toward the sidelines and see if Landry wants to keep the field goal unit in there. It will be 4th down, inches for the first down, and less than 2 yards for the touchdown, and the Cowboys going to call time. They want to talk this over because it could be the key play of the game. There's a momentary break in the action. So let's pause for this. You're listening to Dallas Cowboys football.
Stop and go market. The yellow oval with the red stop and the green go. It's the final business shopping.
The accuracy and reliability of Royce comes to Stop and Go. They're offering an AM/FM stereo and 40-channel CB, all in one compact unit for only $119.95. A complete car entertainment and communications device from Stop and Go.
Stop and Go market.
It's more than you know in a convenience store.
Timeout still in progress here at RFK Stadium, and Roger Staubach is over at the far sideline talking things over with head coach Tom Landry, so you would assume from that the decision has been made to go for it.
I think it's a good decision. You know, ordinarily Landry's philosophy has been go for the 3 points. But in this situation, they are just about 6 inches shy, and should they not make it, the Redskin offense would have 99 yards to go, and certainly the odds would be in favor of the Cowboy defense, which has controlled Washington for the most part, being able to keep them jammed up. So I think it's probably a very wise decision by the coach, regardless of what happens on this play.
Well, the play selection has been made. Here is Staubach returning to the huddle to announce it to the rest of the club. 4th down, 6 inches for a first down, 1.5 yards for a touchdown, as the Cowboys are run up to the line of scrimmage by the center, Tom Rafferty. Laidlaw in the backfield along with Dorsett and Robert Newhouse. Staubach calls the signals. Quarterback sneak. He dives forward. He is inside the 1 yard line, I do believe.
The Redskins are saying no, but they forgot that he did not have to get the touchdown. All he had to do was get the first down. Gerard Williams was dancing up and down. He did not get 6, no question about that. But I think some of the Redskins forgot he did not have to get into the end zone.
All he had to do was get down in essentially to the 1.5 yard line,
which he has done. He is inside the 1.
No question about it. No need for measurement. First and goal to go for the Cowboys at the 1 yard line.
Redskins want the chains out anyway.
And, of course, they have that right to bring them out and measure, but it doesn't look like it's really close. So they bring the chains in some 20 yards or so from the near sideline. And stretch them tightly, and it shows that the Cowboys picked up the first down by a little more than the margin of the length of the football. First and goal to go for the Dallas Cowboys at the 1 yard line of the Washington Redskins as Dallas tries to punch across the go-ahead score. Staubach coming out of the backfield, has that full house backfield. Power eye. Roger calls the signals. Hand off to Dorsett. He dives over the middle. Touchdown! Dorsett scores, and the Cowboys take the lead for the first time, 13-7. So the gamble paid off. A 55-yard drive. It covered 11 plays, and keep in mind one of those key plays was an offside against the Washington Redskins when the Cowboys were punting, which gave Dallas a first down.
That seems like 2 hours ago for some reason. This drive took forever.
It did. Here's Herrera to try the extra point. The snap, the placement. Herrera's kick is up. It is good. And the Cowboys lead by 7. Time out of the field with our score. Dallas 14, Washington 7. Dallas Cowboys football continues in a moment.
Insurance can be a problem. Just think of the things you need insurance for: your car, your home, your life, and your health. Then think of your local State Farm agent who has all the insurance for all the things you need insured. Economical rates, too, and fast, friendly service. That's why we say, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there with dependable protection for all your family insurance needs. You'll find your Dallas Tarrant County State Farm agent listed in the Yellow Pages.
It's winter just around the corner. Now's the time to get your central heating system ready for cold weather. So call Freimeyer Services, and we'll send a heating specialist to make a thorough safety inspection of your system for leaks and noxious fumes, and clean and adjust your system for maximum operating efficiency. Whether it's your business or home, you should get this done to make sure your heating system does not create a fire or health hazard. Call Freimeyer Services today for a heating specialist. We fix it right.
Glieber along with Vern Lundquist and Brad Sham at RFK Stadium as Fred Herrera prepares to kick off for the Dallas Cowboys. The deep man will be Eddie Brown. He is at the 5 yard line and flanked at the 10 by Mark Murphy, a rookie from Colgate on his left, and Eddie Moss, a 4-year veteran from Northeast Missouri, on his right. Dallas leading for the first time in the game, 14-7. Cowboys trailed at halftime, in case you joined us late, by a score of 7-0. There's the whistle by the referee Gordon McCarter. Here comes Herrera. Kick is a little bit short. Brown moves up on it at the 10 yard line. Straight up the middle of the field, 15, 20, 25, 30, breaks the tackle, 35, up to the 40 yard line and down at the 42.
Well, that is just what Dallas did not need. Eddie Brown happened to him last week in Pittsburgh. They got the go-ahead score, and Alvin Maxson ran it back 46 yards. And this is almost the best field position the Redskins have had here in the second half.
Herrera made the tackle. 1st and 10, Redskins. Now the Redskin fans try to hoop it up here and get the offense fired up. Danny Buggs wide to the left side. Frank Grant in the slot. Inside of him, Joe Theismann is called all the way at quarterback for the Redskins. And Theismann hands off to Harmon, sweeps the left side, and caught from behind as he passes the line of scrimmage by Bob Brunig. Reached the 45 for a pickup of 3. 15 seconds for station identification. This is the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
From the sidelines to the headlines, Vern Lundquist knows sports. Get to know Vern and the News 8 team and stay on top of the sports weeknights at 6 and 10 on Channel 8.
The voice of the Cowboys. This is KRLD, Dallas.
KRLD.
Harmon limps off the field after that tackle by Brunig. He is replaced by Calvin Hill. 2nd down, 7. Redskins from their 44. Theismann dropping back into the pocket. Big rush by Too Tall Jones. The pass is thrown and caught at the 42-yard line. Now they really trapped it. It is ruled an incompleted forward pass to Frank Grant, who tried to pick that one up off his shoe tops at the Dallas 42. But the official was right there and ruled the ball hit the ground first. So it'll be 3rd and 7.
Ed Jones had a good pass rush that time, but actually overshot Joe Theismann, went right by him, and so the pressure was not there. But Ed did a good job of getting into the backfield, just really did too good a job. Cowboys have 3 traps so far, all in the first half. They have not gotten a sack here in the second stanza.
3rd down, 7. Danny Buggs splits wide to the right side. Grant in the slot inside of him as Theismann calls the signals. Calvin Hill and Thomas, the setbacks, back to throw. Is Theismann over the middle, has his receiver for the first down at the Dallas 43-yard line. Frank Grant, who missed on the catch a moment ago on a little slant-in pattern. Coming in from the slot position on the right-hand side, simply slanted across the middle of the field and took the pass and was dropped at the 41-yard line. So the Redskins on the move now. The Cowboys enter the field. Clock moving with 8 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Dallas leading 14-7. Cowboy defense trying to hold him here. Theismann splitting Buggs out wide to the right side. Again goes with that slot with Grant in the slot, and Theismann gives to Calvin Hill, and Hill gets a yard, maybe 2 to the 39 before Too Tall Jones shoves him back, and we get a scramble. After the tackle, a couple of Redskins jump in, and a couple of Cowboys jump in, and the officials right in on top of them. And they unpeel him rather quickly. Here they spot the ball here to mark Calvin Hill's advance. It'll be at the 39-yard line. It should be a net of about 2 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Washington at the Dallas Cowboy 39-yard line. Cowboys going for a sweep in this series for the first time since George Allen has been head coach in Washington. That dates back to 1971. Redskins up to the line of scrimmage. Theismann drops straight back to throw. Protection is good this time. Throws a bullet over the middle and completes it at the 26-yard line. And again, it is Frank Grant who picks up the key first down. I think somebody better cover him.
I think it would be wise for somebody to realize that Frank is in the ball game. Redskin offense had not done anything in the second half, and the Cowboy defense is bending now. Let us hope they do not break.
They're within Mosley's field goal range, but keep in mind now the Redskins trail by 7. Ball is spotted at the 27-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. First down. This drive started back at the 42 after a fine kick return by Eddie Brown. Buggs out wide to the left side. Grant is on the wing to the right, now starts in motion across the backfield. Theismann fakes into the middle, back to throw it. Protection is good, lets it fly, and it is almost intercepted in the end zone by Benny Barnes.
Obvious mix-up on the play between Frank Grant and Joe Theismann. Theismann was cutting to the left, and the pass was thrown behind him right toward the goalpost. And Benny just about picked it off. Again, good protection by that offensive line of the Redskins, though. They are giving Theismann much opportunity to get rid of the football.
It'll be 2nd and 10. Washington at the Dallas 27-yard line. Clock stops with 7 minutes, 1 second left to play in the game. Cowboys leading 14-7. But the Redskins threatening here midway in the final period of play. Buggs split about 10 yards out to the right side. Grant on the wing off to the left. Split backfield. Mike Thomas and Calvin Hill. Now they send Grant in motion. The handoff goes to Mike Thomas. Bounces off a tackler at the line of scrimmage, but couldn't get going, and then he is shoved back.
Realize, of course, the Redskins still have not committed a turnover in this ball game. No pass interceptions, no fumbles. And they have another third down situation. They are 6 of 14, but it seems that they have done about 12 out of 14 in conversion. They made the critical ones. Really have picked up key third down plays, of which we have one right now.
Well, Mike Thomas looked like a man with a hot foot as he hit the line of scrimmage and tried to struggle loose from the tacklers. Couldn't do it. Third down 10. Redskins at the Cowboy 27. Grant in the slot off to the right side, set inside of Danny Buggs as Theismann calls the line down, barks the signals, fades back to throw it, rushes on, gets the pass away. It is intercepted and dropped. Nobody got it. Grant had it for a moment. Mark Washington stripped him of it. It shot about 3 feet up in the air that Mark couldn't come down with, and the official ruled it incomplete.
Mark has been burned a couple of times tonight, but that time he was right with Frank Grant. It was a fine throw by Joe Theismann, but good coverage by Mark Washington. And we get Mark Mosley in the ball game.
Well, Mosley missed field goal attempts on 2 successive tries, 41 yards.
Keep in mind that Theismann has been known to throw out of this situation.
And Theismann is the holder. And he will put it down at the 33-yard line, which will make it a 43-yard attempt. Well within Mosley's range. Here's the snap, the placement, the kick is up. It is long enough. It is no good. He blew it off to the right side. He has missed 3 all the same way. Shanked him to the right side. Or the Redskins would have 9 more points on that scoreboard right now, would be in the lead. So that's a big break for the Cowboys, who will take over at the line of scrimmage at the 27.
Got the weight on the right side of his foot.
Must be. There's a timeout of the field with the score. Dallas 14, Washington 7. Dallas Cowboys football continues in a moment.
Dear Jack in the Box restaurants, I'm from Texas, the biggest state, except for Alaska, where they got polar bears. We got the biggest everything down here. Our cars are big, our hats are big, and I tried one of your Jack Steak sandwiches, and it is real big. You get 100% USDA choice flaked and foreign beef on that there sandwich, and the special sauce is fantastic. I guess most everybody in Texas is going to be at a Jack in the Box eating your Jack Steak sandwiches. We are big eaters. Why, up north, one Jack Steak sandwich could probably feed a family of 4.
Is your business outgrowing your telephone system? You may need more than an ordinary telephone, and Southwestern Bell has a ComKey system designed just for you. You can select the very features you need from a wide range of possibilities. And now we've got a larger and more versatile system, the ComKey 2152. To find out more about ComKey business telephones, call 745-5000. That's 745-5000. Southwestern Bell.
6 minutes and 7 seconds left to play in the football game, and that was an awful deep inhale that you took in there, which means, this is it, huh?
Yeah, you knew exactly what I was thinking, Frank. These are going to be a long 6 minutes and 7 seconds. Very long.
Cowboys right now, of course, would like nothing more than just to control the ball, pick up the first few downs, run that clock down, and put this one away. 1st and 10, Dallas from its 27-yard line. Handoff. Robert Newhouse breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, reaches the 29, and then is shoved back by Mike Curtis, who has been in on a ton of tackles to pick up a 3. For the Cowboys, it'll be 2nd down 7.
We haven't updated other scores. Let us give you some. The Tampa Bay offense did its thing again today. 17-0, Atlanta won. Jack Harris had a great line. He does color for the Tampa Bay offense, and he said they ought to put up a sign at the 10-yard line that says the Bucks stop here. Not bad. 17-0, 25 in a row. L.A. over Cleveland, 9-0. Baltimore trailing Denver, 21-16, fourth quarter.
Our score, Cowboys 14, Redskins 7. 2nd down 7. Cowboys at their 29-yard line. Here's Roger Staubach rolling out to his left, tries to throw on the run. Marker is down. The catch is made by Dupree as he goes out of bounds at the 46-yard line of Dallas. But we had a couple of penalty markers down. Let's see which way the penalty goes. They were thrown in the defensive backfield, which would normally indicate interference on somebody. And I think it's a pass interference call against the Redskins, which the Cowboys will probably decline, since Dupree did catch it. Well, defensive holding is what they call. Someone held up one of the Cowboy receivers.
It was Golden Richards who was held up, and Ken Houston, I believe, who did the holding up. Not sure, but it looked like it was Houston.
Officials will spot the ball at the 46, which is where Dupree made the catch, as the penalty is refused, the gain obviously being greater than the penalty. And the Cowboys have the first down at their 46-yard line.
Of course, if the Cowboys could win today, they would have a 2-game edge over the Cardinals with 3 games remaining. The Cowboys have Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Denver left. And a very big victory if they can get it in the next 5 minutes and 19 seconds.
Drew Pearson, flank wide to the right side. Rest of the T in tight. Gives to Newhouse. Tries the left side. Laterals to Dorsett. When they look at that in the films Tuesday, I imagine Newhouse is going to be under a chair because that thing came so close to being picked off. Dorsett was tackled immediately. And the gain in the play amounted just a yard or two.
Billy Joe Dupree is talking with Robert Newhouse right now, and I think maybe counseling him a bit, saying, Tuesday's not going to be any fun anymore. Not that it would have been after that fumble.
Well, it won't be after the first half anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
Second down, 8. Cowboys at their 48-yard line. That's where they spot the ball. Newhouse in the backfield along with Tony Dorsett. 4 minutes, 35 seconds remaining. Give to Dorsett. Tries the right side. Trying to string it out. Reaches the 50-yard line and just does get into Redskin territory. But not nearly close enough for the first down as Ken Houston came up from the secondary to make the stop. Those are the balls spotted just inside the Redskins' end of the field. That will set up third down, and the Cowboys going to need a strong 6. That's 6 points. A good 6 yards.
And the Cowboys are 2 out of 9 on third down conversions. They have not been very capable in that category this afternoon.
Clock is moving. It's run down inside the 4-minute mark now. 3 minutes and 55 seconds and counting. And if Dallas can pick up this first down, it'd be a critical one because it would give them another couple of minutes to run down on the clock. Staubach sets him up in the shotgun. Double wing each way. In fact, he's got a triple wing now to the left side. Inside handoff goes to Dorsett to the 50, Tony to the 45-yard line, and he has the first down at the 42. Good individual effort by Dorsett, who first ran into problems at about the 50-yard line, but kept going, and finally was dragged out near the 42-yard line of the Washington Redskins. And that should be a first down for the Dallas Cowboys, and will enable the clock to keep right on moving in this next series.
And you're sighing just like I was.
That's a big first down, I'll tell you.
Moments like these, when your long relationship with broadcasting these Cowboy games, I think has a factor and your objectivity.
Well, we've seen too many things here, particularly.
That's right.
Go back, the most exciting games in football, I think, for the Cowboy-Redskin games. Many of them played here. Here's Staubach handing to Dorsett, sweeps the right side, trying to turn the corner, gets down to about the 40, picks up 2, and is corralled over on the far sideline by Brad Dusek. Clock continues to move. 3 minutes and 25 seconds left to play in the game.
I haven't said anything yet. I want to make a quick point about the weekend that we spent out in Phoenix. Did a college game out there Friday night. And Bob Brunig's parents invited my wife and I over to spend Thanksgiving with them. And honest to heaven, if there are nicer people in the world, I don't know where they live. And I think perhaps they are listening on KTAR out in Phoenix. We have a number of folks who do that regularly. Danny White's folks as well. And just a public thank you to them.
Second down and 8. Free turkey again.
You would have loved it.
I know I would have. Here's Staubach pitching to Dorsett. Tony over the left tackle. Nothing there. Carl Lorch closing the door at about the line of scrimmage. No gain. It'll be third down and 8. 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and the clock continues to roll. Dorsett still the leading rusher on the game with 67 yards and 19 carries. That's a sneaky 67 yards,
Isn't it, though?
Doesn't seem he got nearly that much.
Well, I think his longest run has probably been around 7 or 8 yards. He really hasn't broken the long one today, and all of a sudden you look up and he's got the 67.
Third down. 8 needed for the first down. Nose of the football just outside the Redskin 40. Staubach has the Cowboys in the shotgun formation. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left to play in the football game. Dallas leading 14-7. Roger takes the snap. He looks up the middle, looks for someplace to run. No hole. Trapped behind the line of scrimmage at the 46-yard line by Carl Lorch. He elected to take the loss, and so the clock will run down to 2 minutes. Showing 2:02, and it stopped at that point. Now the officials started going again, I believe. There it goes. So here comes the 2-minute warning. There's a timeout on the field with our score. The Cowboys 14, the Redskins 7. Dallas Cowboys football continues in a moment.
Boy, you feel proud when you got a truck. You know it's really built to stay tough. It's a riding high feeling all the way in a pickup truck from Chevrolet.
Tough trucks for tough customers like you. Chevy fleet-side pickups, tough in the right places. Built with double steel walls in vital areas. Massive girder beam front suspension on two-wheel drive models. Brake systems computer matched to the GVW of the truck you order. And for the first time, diesel power is available in C10 Chevy pickups. Tough 78 Chevy trucks. See them at your Chevy dealers right now.
Boy, you feel proud when you got a truck. You know it's really built to stay tough. It's a riding high feeling all the way in a pickup truck from Chevrolet.
Exactly 2 minutes left to play in the football game. The Cowboys will have a 4th down 14 from the Redskins 46-yard line. And, of course, the Redskins, with their great specialty teams, pride themselves in doing things like blocking punts at moments like this. So it's very important that Danny White does get that kick away and hopefully can put it out of bounds deep in Redskin territory. Eddie Brown dropping back to the neighborhood of his 7-yard line. Here come the Cowboys up to the line of scrimmage. White trying to keep those hands warm, standing back at his 39, awaiting the snap from D.D. Lewis. Well, the Redskins are playing return. They don't put on the big rush. Here comes the punt. Brown takes it at the 3, starts from right to left, cuts back up the middle of the field to the 10, and is hit by D.D. Lewis at the 15-yard line. So the Redskins will be 85 yards away from tying up this football game with 1:47 left to play in the contest.
That was a surprise. I expected that the Redskins would bring everybody on that punt because, and I also expected Eddie Brown to let it go when it was inside the 10-yard line, but he went ahead and fielded it. Had he let it go and had gone in the end zone, he'd have gotten 5 more yards.
Dallas 14, Washington 7.
Well, here we go again.
Here we go again. Redskins, I believe, have all 3 of their timeouts left. And no doubt they'll use them as they try to tie this football game up. Here's Theismann back to throw it. Protection is good. Fires it over the middle. Hits Frank Grant at the 40-yard line. And Grant drops the ball. Now it's ruled incomplete. Grant tried to bring it down, and as he hit the ground, was separated from the football. At the 40-yard line of the Redskins, he is still sitting there. I don't know whether he's hurting or just disgusted.
He took a terrific hit. I'm not sure. I think it may have been Cliff Harris that got to him, but I thought he had it, and it would have been a quick 25. I am continually impressed by the offensive line of the Redskins and the time they are giving Joe Theismann. He has not been sacked here in the second half, 3 times in the first half, once on the final play, but the pressure has not really been exorbitant by the Cowboy front 4.
And they could use some pressure right now. It'll be 2nd and 10. Redskins at their 15-yard line. 1 minute, 40 seconds left to play in the game. And Dallas with a 7-point lead, 14-7. Again, Theismann dropping back into the pocket. Fires over the middle, and this one is caught by Grant at the 27-yard line. That should be just enough for a first down. A little bit more. Got about 12 on the play. Redskins hurry up. No huddle. Come up to the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10 at their 27. Theismann again back to throw. Looks downfield, near sideline, fires the ball. It is thrown. Well, is it caught or not at the 35-yard line? Danny Buggs was the intended receiver. And our view was blocked completely by the Redskin players on the bench as he dove for the ball at about the 35-yard line. Apparently he did catch it.
They called timeout, Frank, yes.
And the Redskins do call a timeout with 1:20 to go. There's a momentary break in the action, so let's pause for this. You're listening to Dallas Cowboys football.
Enter your ideas with that quick.
When you need a cement or a concrete mix, you got something to build or something to fix, anchor your ideas with Sackcrete.
It's so easy to do.
When you want to make a step in the right direction or you want to set a post and you want perfection, anchor your ideas with Sackcrete.
Anchor your ideas with Sackcrete.
You just add water.
The catch by Danny Buggs a moment ago picked up 9 yards, and the Redskins have a 2nd and 1 at their own 36-yard line. Cowboys have the prevent defense in there. There's a minute and 20 seconds left to play in the game. And Dallas out in front 14-7, overcoming a 7-0 halftime lead. And it is nervous time here at RFK Stadium. All right, Buggs wide to the right side. Larry Jones, who's come into the ball game, is in the slot. And Harvey Martin apparently thought he saw someone move and brushed by the Redskin lineman. And let's see if they do call the Redskins for illegal procedure if it goes against the Cowboys. Gordon McCarter, the referee, indicating illegal procedure. Washington, so very alert play on the part of Harvey Martin of the Cowboys.
Sure was. It was scary. I thought he had jumped offside, but he obviously saw something we did not.
And fortunately, the officials saw the same thing.
Yeah, that's right.
And that calls for a 5-yard walk-off back to the 31-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Needed for the first down for the Redskins at their own 31. You're not going to start coughing now.
I'll tell you, I've bitten my fingernails down to the first knuckle. It's nervous time.
Buggs to the right side. Larry Jones, a speedster in the slot here. Theismann back to throw. Rushes on. Theismann flushed out of the pocket, still moving. At his 20, looking downfield at the 25. He winds up, throwing the ball long, intended for Buggs, and overthrown at the 20-yard line. And Buggs goes down. The Buggs wants a pass interference call, and so does the crowd, but none is forthcoming. And Theismann scared everybody half to death. Looked like the Cowboys had him. He rolled out of the pocket, did a complete 360-degree turn, spun around and headed to his left, and wound up and fired that ball about as far as he could throw it.
And Benny Barnes was down there, and I think it was a good call by the official, but certainly a very close call. It might have gone either way. I'll tell you, Theismann is impressive in terms of his scrambling ability. He is like a younger Fran Tarkenton.
He will keep you loose. Jones comes out, and Frank Grant goes back in for the Redskins. It is now 3rd down, and 6 needed for the first down, and the Redskins got to concern themselves now about picking up the first. 1 minute, 8 seconds left to play in the game. Redskins have the ball at their 31-yard line. Theismann has him up to the line of scrimmage, slot formation right. Here's Joe back to throw. Big rush by Randy White, and Randy's got him. However, we have a pass interference call possibly downfield, which may go against Cliff Harris. That flag was thrown 25 yards downfield. And Harris was hot and all over the official. Now let's see what this one's all about. Holding, defensive holding against the Cowboys. And that carries with it an automatic first down. So actually, Cowboys are in a lot better shape with a holding call than they would be with a pass interference call, which would have given the Redskins the ball in Dallas end of the field. The holding call is a 5-yard walk-off, but a first down for the Redskins from their 36-yard line. And it goes against Cliff Harris as he held up one of the Redskin receivers coming downfield. So the Redskins get another 4 pops at it with 1 minute and 4 seconds to go. Washington with 2 timeouts left. Theismann sends Buggs to the right side. He's got Grant in the slot. Mike Thomas takes the handoff, and Thomas is caught by Bill Gregory as he crosses the line of scrimmage and got nothing. So that was a gamble that didn't pay off as the clock continues to move with just 50 seconds left to play. Redskins line up without a huddle. Here comes the rush. Theismann back to throw it. Sideline pass to Thomas, who slips and falls at the 40 and goes out of bounds at the Redskin 42. Picked up 5, maybe 6 yards on that play. It stopped the clock with 43 seconds. Oh, my.
I know folks who know me can't believe this, but I'm almost speechless, which is a first.
Cowboys 14 and the Redskins 7, but boy, it hasn't come easy. It'll be 3rd down, and the Redskins still need 3 for the first down. A long 3 for the first down at their 42-yard line as they break the huddle and come up to the line of scrimmage. They still own 2 timeouts. Charlie Taylor looks like has come into the ballgame. Here's a pass over the middle, incomplete, intended for Thomas. And Thomas is wrestled down by Aaron Kyle, who couldn't see whether or not he had caught the ball or not at about the 46-yard line. But the pass is incomplete, and that will set up a do-or-die situation for Washington here. 4th down. And a long 3 needed for the first down. at the Redskin 42 with 39 seconds showing on the clock.
I would not be surprised to see them go to a back out of the backfield now. The Cowboys must be aware of that. They've done a good job, the Redskins that is, in bringing Thomas out of the backfield and Calvin Hill, though Calvin is not in there now. Oh, yes, he is in there now. So watch for the two running backs, Thomas and Calvin Hill.
Fourth down, a long three for the first down. Theismann has him up on the line of scrimmage, backs up to throw, the rush is on, the pass over the middle, complete to Grant at the 50. Frank Grant is still on his feet at the 43-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. First down, Redskins, and Washington calls timeout with 30 seconds left to play in the game, and the Redskins are alive. So one timeout left now for the Redskins as Joe Theismann comes over to the near side to confer with his head coach, George Allen. Redskins have got to have the 7 points to send it into overtime. Field goal won't help them here.
They have moved the ball now from their own 15 to the Cowboys' 42 3-yard line, and they begin this drive with 2 minutes exactly remaining and have used up 130. But what a key pass catch that was by Frank Grant. And the nails continue to get a little shorter.
That's 6 catches now for Grant for a total of 90 yards, far and away the leading receiver in the ball game. I shouldn't say far and away because Bugs has caught 5 for a total of 61 yards. Theismann is 17 out of 32 for 232 yards. Redskins huddling back at the 50-yard line as we're set to go back to play. They have one timeout left.
And the Cowboys will go with a 3-2 defense now for one of the few times. They have sent Mike Hegman in as an extra linebacker, and they will go with a 3-man rush.
Here come the Redskins up to the line of scrimmage, which is the Dallas 43-yard line. Joe Theismann, quick out, straight back into the pocket. Protection is good. Now he's going to run it. Randy White trying to chase him down. He's to the 40 and runs out of bounds at the 39-yard line. His momentum carried him all the way across the Cowboy bench and within 10 yards of the stands across the way. And one of the Cowboy defenders who was chasing him slid and slipped on the tarp. That's in front of the Cowboy bench. I believe it was Thomas Henderson, but he appears to be okay. So when all was said and done, Theismann scrambling picked up 3 yards to the 40. Nose of the ball just inside the 40. It'll be 2nd and 7. That used up 8 seconds, so there's 22 seconds left to play in the game.
Charlie Taylor is coming back in for the Redskins, and Danny Bugs will come out.
Taylor, many pressure situations in Dallas-Washington games. He's been slowed by injuries and old age. Here come the Redskins. Taylor split wide to the right. Theismann back to throw. It rushes on by Randy White. He dodges one potential tackler, and the pass downfield is incomplete.
15 seconds to go.
Pass at the 33-yard line intended for Frank Grant, and Henderson had his arms wrapped around his waist and stripped him of the football. Make it Hegman instead of Henderson. So the ball is spotted again back at the Cowboy 40-yard line. It is 3rd down and 7. 15 seconds left to play in the game. Redskins still with one timeout. Time is running out on Washington. And you can look for Theismann to go for the home run, if not on this play, perhaps on the next, because time is rapidly going. Here comes Washington. Theismann back to throw it. He winds up, fires a sideline throw to Calvin Hill, and Hill is bumped out of bounds at the 33. We get a marker tossed across the way. That used up another 6 seconds. There are now 9 seconds left on the clock. Hill was knocked out of bounds at the 33-yard line. It is a holding call against Washington. Oh, is that appropriate and timely. It not only wipes out the gain, but will move the Redskins back to near midfield.
I don't think I'm going to use this as an audition tape because my analytical analysis here at commentary in the last 3 minutes is constituted of nothing but sighs. Oh. Nervous.
It's been a long 5 minutes. Ball is moved back to midfield, placed smack dab on the 50-yard line by the referee, Gordon McCarter.
Remember when it was 6:07 remaining and we said it would be the longest 6 minutes and 7 seconds of the season?
That was the best prediction we made all year.
Yeah, that's right.
3rd down, now 17 for the first down. They have to get to the Cowboy 33, but only 9 seconds left on the clock. Here's Theismann back to throw it. Winds up, fires down the sidelines. It is intercepted. Intercepted by the Cowboys at the 25-yard line. And that should do it. And I can't see who got it.
I'm not sure. I couldn't tell either. They're congratulating Mel Renfro, I believe.
Well, that'd be very pro. Yes, Mel Renfro, the old warhorse himself, came up with the interception, and that will do it. It runs the clock down to 2 seconds, so the Cowboys will have to run off one offensive play, and then we can head back to Dallas.
Oh, man.
The first turnover of the day by the Redskins as Mel Renfro intercepts the pass at the 20-yard line. Cowboys first and 10 at their 23.
You're right, Frank. How appropriate for Mel Renfro to get that game-saving interception. That's kind of nice.
It's not the first time that's happened. I remember that great Detroit game where he had that 5-0 game where he came up with a game-saving interception. There's the one play, a simple little quarterback sneak, and that is it. The game is over, and the Cowboys have beaten the Redskins and have swept the season series for the first time since George Allen came to Washington. And, of course, Dallas now with an almost insurmountable 2-game lead with 3 games left to play in the NFC Eastern Division race. The final score, the Cowboys 14, the Redskins 7. We'll be back with a final look as Dallas Cowboy football continues in a moment.
Experience the Magnavox Touch, and you'll enjoy television like you've never enjoyed it before. At the touch of your finger, you'll see computer-sharp, computer-fast color pictures. The all-new Magnavox Touch Tune Color TV gives you beautiful color pictures with the precision of a digital computer, the ease of a push-button telephone. Available at Gaylord's Magnavox, Dallas's largest Magnavox dealer and service center. 2 locations to serve you, Valley View and Town East Mall. Gaylord's Magnavox.
We're really on to something that's making it big today. Yeah, we're really on to something that's making it all the way. Mr. Pill, you can't describe it. Mr. Pill, until you've tried it.
People like its one-of-a-kind combination of flavors so much, we bet Mr. Pill is a soft drink that goes clear to the top. Try Mr. Pill and taste why.
Mr. Pill, like nothing else.
Wasn't the prettiest thing you'll ever see, but the Cowboys will take it nevertheless as they stop their 2-game losing streak by beating the Redskins here at RFK Stadium 14-7. And are now in very good shape, and the Redskins are going to have to pull out those Think 6 signs that we were talking about at the start of the game, because they're going to have to win an awful lot of football games if they hope to get in the playoffs. Still got a couple of chickens roaming down on the field here, believe it or not. They're left over from halftime.